Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you all are doing well. Hello, and welcome to the stream, Mari, for the first time ever. Hello, and welcome. Hopefully, you are doing well. Hello. We are going to be reacting to a video that Fred suggested that's about an hour long, and then we're going to start a new hardcore or a new nuzlocke of Pokerogue, because I need a video for Saturday that doesn't require too much editing, and that's when the reacts come in, baby. Hey, Midnight. Okay. Let's just jump into it. That's fair. It's already 7 o'clock, so let's just jump into things. Okay. let's get our react faces warmed up. Let's fucking whoa! That's crazy. Boom. We're ready to go. This video is called okay, we're fucking ready. Excuse me. All right. This video is called Pokemon Generation 2 Hates Itself and Why You Should Love It by Professor Booper. Professor Bopper, Booper, whatever it is. I have subscribed. Make sure you go subscribe and check out this person's other videos as well. Without further ado, let's turn up this. Let's watch it.
From the dawn of time, which we can retroactively date to November 21st, 1999, humanity has scribbled cave walls, tablets, and gigabytes full of discourse lamenting the second generation of Pokemon. Videos and walls of text and streamer rage have had these Game Boy Color.
Please turn the video up. Will do.
From the dawn of time, which we can retroactively date to November 21st, 1999, humanity has scribbled cave walls, tablets, and gigabytes full of discourse lamenting the second generation of Pokemon.
Okay, turn it down just a tad. God damn it. Okay.
Videos and walls of tech walls, tablets, and from the dawn of time, which we can retroactively date to November 21st, 1999, humanity has scribbled cave walls, tablets, and gigabytes full of discourse lamenting the second generation of Pokemon. Videos and walls of text and streamer
A little bit more? Oh my goodness. Okay.
From the dawn of time, which we can retroactively date to November 21st, 1999, humanity has scribbled cave walls, tablets, and gigabytes full of discourse lamenting the second generation of Pokemon. Videos and walls of text and streamer
Perfect.
rage
Okay, good.
have had these Game Boy Color games circling the drain for a quarter century. In this span of time that matches the time between the peaks of World Wars I and II, a list of complaints against Gold and Silver have been codified. The level curve, the truncated Kanto, the lack of early access to many Generation 2 Pokemon, and many of the easier to find Generation 2 Pokemon being bad have become axioms trapped in the muck. The impression, seemingly, that Pokemon 2nd Generation hates itself and is ashamed of its Pokemon and of its relationship to Generation 1. Is all this true?
Yes.
Let's find out.
I personally don't think Gen 2 is very fun and or interesting enough to not just play Soul Silver at this point, which didn't fix a whole lot, but at least it looks better. This is very well edited though, by the way. This looks great. So edited by
For years,
Easy
the
Min.
most common complaint that I've personally heard about Gold and Silver is the lack of Generation 2 Pokemon available in the main game.
That is a big
These are games that,
thing.
so the legends say, feature mostly retread Pokemon from Generation 1. These 1999 sequels to the highest-selling Pokemon game of all time expanded the iconic roster of 151 to the less iconic 251 roster.
Uh-huh.
These 100 newly added Pokemon have a truant reputation. Many were scrapped from Pokemon Gen 1, supposedly. Many are absent from the main game of Gen 2, purportedly. And many would need to appear in the spin-off title Pokemon Coliseum to be catchable in Gen 3. Definitely.
Oh, wow.
From one perspective,
I didn't know
without
that.
even
That's a little dumb. But I guess it drives sales.
looking at the data, it's not true. It's actually quite the opposite.
Wait,
There
really?
are no Generation 1 Pokemon in Generation 2. One of the major changes that happened between Generations 1 and 2 is that the special stat has been unrolled into distinct offensive and defensive stats and then rebalanced. This makes every single Pokemon that shares a name and likeness with a Generation 1 Pokemon fundamentally different from its namesake. This is where we separate the thinkers from the feelers.
No! I understand what he's saying. I want things that look different. I don't give a shit about... This isn't even like the official physical special split. This is like the baby physical special split. I want my things to look different.
Pokemon
Okay.
were stripped of all of its visual, linguistic,
I can't
and
pause every
auditory
2
signifiers,
minutes.
reduced to screens of code, no different from ancient text-based adventure games like Zork or, I don't know, The Count, where we play with equations instead of sprites. Then we are in a world of radical, minute difference. But those differences don't matter. Pokemon has these signifiers of sprites and names and the super effective explosion sound. You could give Faulkner's Pidgeotto 400 speed and 5 attack. Give it negative 50 attack. What matters is that we see it. We see Pidgeotto.
Yeah.
We see its name in Pokemon GB font, and we know we've been here before.
Okay,
The numbers
true.
running the Pokemon
True.
machine and spitting out damage calculations may be different,
I
but
should have
we
let him
can't see
finish.
it.
Yeah.
It's not real. Let's see what Plato had to say about this.
Okay.
In Book 7 of the Republic, Plato outlines the allegory of the cave. Prisoners are chained in a cave, facing a wall, and can only see the shadows of the outside world.
Okay.
To them, Plato says, the truth would be literally nothing but the shadows of the images. So then, let's kill the lights. There is no difference between these Pidgeottos to our light-starved eyes. This is, of course, not reality. Plato tells us that when a prisoner of the cave is liberated and compelled suddenly to stand up and turn his neck round and walk and look toward the light, he will suffer sharp pains. The glare will distress him, and he will be unable to see the realities of which in his former state he had seen the shadows. For us Pokemon fans, that reality that casts the shadows are these numbers, the base stats that
I did not think this video was going to talk about Play-Doh.
clearly differentiate between Generation 1 and 2 Pidgeotto.
Yes, clearly.
For a young Pokemon fan first discovering the color-coded numbers that girdle each of their favorite pocket monsters, it's incomprehensible. What does this truth mean? There are further subatomic levels we can dive into. We can go into EVs, IVs, we can go into the code itself.
Right.
We can discover the very writing that makes a Pidgeotto in red and blue, and what makes a Pidgeotto in gold and silver.
Okay.
Are these the same Pokemon?
Yes.
Aristotle fanboys will say no. Empirically, these two Pidgeottos are distinct species. For the lovers of platonic forms, these are the same. The variations in their engines do not take away the fundamental essence of a Pidgeotto. Blue's Pidgeotto and Faulkner's Pidgeotto cast the same shadow because that is their form. To suggest otherwise, to say that there are no Generation 1 Pokemon in Gold and Silver, would be an act of pedantry so big-brained and unappealing as to be worthless for anything other than philosophy fueling the hot take culture of YouTube. It would, however, be within the bounds of polite reason to say that no Generation 1 Pokemon that have immigrated to Generation 2 are exactly as they were.
Sure.
They've all matured into more nuanced base stats and movesets.
That makes
They're
more
all
sense to say.
experientially different. Using an Onix in one game is different from using an Onix in the other, and that's before the other details that separate Kanto and Johto from one another are understood. So then, if these experiences are different, why do people criticize Gold and Silver for having too many Generation 1 Pokemon and not enough Generation 2 Pokemon? All Pokemon, and perhaps all video games, and perhaps all experiences converge on novelty. When I played with my dinosaur toys as a small ignorant child, I didn't have a set of 20 T-Rexes. You have a T-Rex, Velociraptor, an Apatosaurus, and a Triceratops, a Spinosaurus if you grew up after Jurassic Park 3, because even if Dilophosaurus is your favorite dinosaur, to play with 20 Dilophosaurus' is no fun at all. Blue is my favorite color because of all the other colors. I would never think of running a Gold and Silver team of 6 Shuckles. Using one of them is hard enough. I do it for
That's
love,
fair.
but forget 6, and so much of it is the same with the wider roster. Novelty isn't by itself all that matters, and certainly the value of novelty will vary from person to person, but for a game series targeted at 8-year-olds about collecting your favorite creatures and making it work from there, novelty matters. Let's check the novelty of Gold and Silver. Do these games massively...
I'm lost. I mean, overall Onix is still bad. If you're lost, it's pretty much just saying that Pidgeotto and Pidgeotto are the same Pokemon. But Pidgeotto and Pidgeotto Gold and Silver is different than Pidgeotto Red and Blue, because Pidgeotto Gold and Silver acts, works, and behaves completely different than Pidgeotto Red and Blue because of the code that Pidgeotto Gold and Silver was written with. But that's a head-ass take. If you're saying because people look at Pidgeotto, they see Pidgeotto and they read Pidgeotto, so it's a Pidgeotto. And not many of us losers care about base stats and AI mechanics and physical special stats when we're trying to gauge how good and how viable a Pokemon is for a Nuzlocke. People just want to use something that's not Pidgeotto, because if they want to use Pidgeotto, they'll just go use Pidgeotto from Red and Blue. They want to use Hoothoot or Knockdown because it's nuanced, or because it's novel and different, which is what he's explaining now. Because Hoothoot and Knockdown are not Pidgeotto and Pidgey. So technically, there is no such thing as a Gen 2 Pokemon in there's no such thing as a Gen 1 Pokemon in a Gen 2 game, because Gen 2 functions so differently than Gen 1 that the two Pidgeotos are different. But people don't give a shit. People just want to not look at Pidgeotto for a second game. Oh, yeah. Because as he's explaining now, it all is based around novelty and new experiences, which is why every single Pokemon game comes out with an extra 150 Pokemon.
Massively favor Generation 1. Check the novelty of Gold and Silver.
Yeah, let's check the novelty.
Do these games massively favor Generation 1
I'm making them
Pokemon
out for
and
now,
lock
yeah.
the new Pokemon to the post-game?
Okay.
Let's take a look. This graph looks specifically at Pokemon Silver. Along the x-axis is every evolution line in the game, sorted by when they first appear as a catchable wild Pokemon, gift Pokemon, or trade Pokemon.
Okay.
There is some discretion as to the order because Gen 2 does feature some branching paths.
Yeah,
In the case
that's my biggest problem with Gen 2, is the branching paths situation.
of routes like, say, 38 and 42, which become available at the same time, I defaulted to the game's intended gym order, so the left branch out of Ecruteak City is listed before the right branch out of Ecruteak City. As well, evolutionary lines are only listed once. So, for example, once a level 10 Krabby becomes available, that counts as both Krabby and Kingler.
Sure.
Along the same lines, only one starter is considered, since they're mutually exclusive without trading or hacking, you filthy cheaters. I put Cyndaquil here, even though I picked Chikorita in my run, because I'm a hater who doesn't acknowledge Totodile. Let's parse this mess of numbers.
What's wrong with
because
Totodile?
there are a lot. In addition to all the Pokemon, the y-axis indicates the highest level each Pokemon is catchable at when they first appear. For example, Aipom is the 33rd Pokemon to become catchable and can be caught at level 10. This graph covers the whole game, including the post-game where the player leaves their homeland of Johto for the mysterious lands of urban-developed Kanto. For now, let's zoom in on the base game, from the moment the player gets their starter Pokemon to the moment they enter the Elite Four. Our question is simple. How much of this new Gen 2 Pokedex is available during the main game? Pokemon Gold and Silver introduced 100 new Pokemon, with a total of 52 new evolutionary lines. These 52 evolutionary lines represent 83 of the 100 new Pokemon.
Yeah.
The other 17 new Pokemon are evolutions added to lines that originated in Red and Blue.
Sure, Crobat.
This makes classifications of Gen 2 Pokemon a little annoying, because some of the new Pokemon are babies like Pichu, Smoochum, and Igglybuff that act as a new Stage 1 evolution for Gen 1 Pokemon. Others are new end-stage evolutions, such as Scizor, Blissey, and Politoed. The way I decided to break this down is simple. New end-stage evolutions like Espeon, Kingdra, and Porygon 2 count for Gen 2, while the new babies do not. With nearly 1 out of every 5 Pokemon
because you're not using the babies, you're eventually going to use the evolved stages of the Gen 1 Pokemon. So that makes sense to not count the babies.
To Gen 1 lines, I think it's only fair to give Gen 2 some of these. In addition to the 52 original evolutionary lines, Gold and Silver adds new end-stage evolutions to Zubat, Eevee, Slowbro, Onix, Oddish, Poliwag, Scyther, Horsey, Porygon, and Chansey.
I did not know there was that many new evolutions in Gen 2. I also didn't know Steelix was Gen 2.
Bringing our number up to 62 Gen 2 evolution lines.
Uh-huh.
Because these starters are all mutually exclusive, we'll drop the number of evolutionary lines from 62 to 60. And because Celebi is an event-exclusive Pokemon, we'll drop it again to 59.
Sure.
So, how many of those 59 evolutionary lines are available in the main game? In the main game, there are a total of 89 evolutionary lines available before the Elite Four. Of those, 46 are either Gen 2 exclusive or have Gen 2 final stage evolutions. In total, 78% of Gen 2's original or modified evolutionary lines are obtainable in the main game of Silver. 8% of Gen 2's original or have Gen 2 final stage evolutions. In total, 78% of Gen 2's original or modified evolutionary lines are obtainable in the main game of Silver. Of the remaining 13, 4.
So you can get 78% of the Gen 2 Pokedex before E4.
Are version
That's pretty good.
exclusives to Gold, and 9 are locked to the post-game.
Okay.
It also means that 52% of the available Pokemon in the Pokemon Silver main game are Gen 2 Pokemon.
So literally just more than half of the entire main game is Gen 2.
Gen 2 has a reputation of underrepresenting its roster, but on its surface, it appears to bias its own original Pokemon. While 52% doesn't seem overwhelming, and it's not, it's worth considering just how small Gen 2's Pokedex is. At 100 new Pokemon, the Johto Dex is almost exactly 2/3 the size of the Kanto Dex.
Right.
If we throw out the Kanto Pokemon that aren't available in any form whatsoever in Gen 2 without trading, the Kanto starters, Omanite,
Okay.
Kabuto, the legendary birds, Mew and Mewtwo, and Celebi, the 99 non-mythical Johto Pokemon represent 43% of the Pokemon available across Gold and Silver. In this way, Johto Pokemon are actually overrepresented compared to the proportion of the roster they occupy. This feels wrong, though.
Yeah.
The numbers are here, I've seen them, I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
Yet they're wrong.
Yeah, because the Pokemon that are actually used by enemy trainers skews towards Gen 1, right?
I sit here, I type, I write out a dry report of a graph with numbers. I'm not a statistician. I'm easily impressed by the graph feature on Google Sheets. I do not know math. I understand very little about Pokemon. So, like all unintelligent Neanderthals that have wandered onto this free-use platform, let's cook up this data. I don't have an agenda, except that I don't agree with the numbers I found.
Yeah.
So, let's change them. It's disquieting to consider a new evolution like Crobat the same as a wholly original Pokemon like Mareep. Crobat is just a Zubat, with, more of it.
That's rude. Crobat's amazing and adorable.
Despite growing 148.8 pounds, eyes, and 2 more wings, Crobat is Zubat and Zubat is Kanto. It's hard for
But I like Crobat
to feel original to Johto when you have to grind it through Zubat and Golbat. I'm not suggesting that we have an effective Pokedex percentage a la effective field goal percentage from Pro Basketball Reference. But what I am saying is that if we isolate just the 52 wholly original Gen 2 evolutionary lines, removing 2 starters and Celebi, there are only 36 Gen 2 lines available out of the 86 lines in the main game.
He's saying numbers really fast. Hold on.
2 evolutionary lines,
Uh-huh.
removing 2 starters and Celebi.
Sure.
There are only 36
36
Gen 2
Gen
lines
2
available
lines.
out of the 86 lines in the main game.
Yeah, that's
From
way
52%
little.
down to 42%. Is this
Yeah.
fair? Probably not. The decision to remove those new final evolutions is based entirely on my feelings, but the removal of some of them isn't that crazy. Let's zoom in on one of them in particular.
Onyx.
Hey, Onyx. You good? Nah. Well, we got a fix for that. Steelix is a new,
Okay.
improved industrial Onyx. The old minerals that constructed our igneous friend have been filed, sanded, and washed away and alloyed with carbon and iron. It is, therefore, fitting that to bring Onyx into the future, we must fuse it with technology.
Nice.
Giving our old friend a metal coat and squeezing them through a link cable transforms them into Steelix,
Into a link
bringing
cable.
Onyx from antiquity into modernity, from Kanto into Johto, and into the 52%. The problem
Into the 52%.
is getting the metal coat.
Okay, yeah.
One is available in the SS Aqua, a
Okay.
location unavailable to the player until the postgame.
Okay, that's annoying.
Technically, this means Steelix, despite being a Johto original Pokemon that evolves from a Pokemon that can be caught before the first gym, is locked to the postgame.
Yeah.
Technically, this isn't true either, because the player can steal metal coats using the move Thief on wild Magnemites.
Who's doing that? Who's doing that, though?
There is a 2% chance of getting a metal coat this
A
way, which is good news because
2%
it's twice the
chance?
odds of finding a wild Dunsparce in Dark Cave,
That's
or a
fine.
wild Snubbull on Route 38, or a wild Marill in Mount Mortar, or a wild Yanma on Route 35, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself. With that 2% chance of thievery, which is actually a 1.992% chance since Thief only successfully steals a held item 99.6% of the time, which is good news because it's 99.2% higher odds than finding a wild Dunsparce in Dark Cave, or a wild Snubbull on Route 38, or a wild Marill in Mount Mortar, or a wild Yanma on Route 35.
Preach.
You can evolve both Onix and Scyther this way into two very rare Johto Pokemon, and this is a trend for the new evolutions. All of the new evolutions in Gen 2 are either trade evolutions or take advantage of new mechanics introduced in Gold and Silver.
Like
in addition to Onix and Scyther, Slowbro evolves into Slowking if traded with the King's Rock. Same for Poliwhirl into Politoed. Seadra evolves into Kingdra if traded with the Dragon Scale. Porygon evolves into Porygon 2 when traded with the Upgrade Disc. Golbat and Chansey evolve into Crobat and Blissey based on happiness, while Eevee evolves into Umbreon or Espeon based on both happiness and time of day. This little trend of weird evolutions made me curious. That's 10 Johto Pokemon that require mechanics new to Gold and Silver, held items, and happiness to evolve.
Yeah, and they're difficult to do.
What about the other 90? Well, there's Togepi, Igglybuff, Cleffa, Pichu, Smoochum, Elekid, and Magby, which have to be hatched from eggs, with the latter 6 needing to be bred using the new breeding system. The legendary dogs, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, roam the overworld and have to be tracked down. Now we're up to 20. Pokemon Gold and Silver also introduced a new time mechanic. The game tracks the time of day. This is a suicidal feature that has killed every copy of Gen 2 Pokemon, and also lets the game have Pokemon that only appear during certain times of the day. The Pokemon that are locked behind the clock are...
Wait, what's the clock? Is there a problem with like old copies in the clock system? I didn't know that there was like a problem with the Gen 2 clock.
Lediba, Ledian, Hoppip, Skiploom, Corsola, Sunkern, Hoot Hoot, Noctowl.
That little bastard is a time of day. I thought it was a hatchable baby. I thought Sunkern was a hatchable baby, not a time of day.
Spinarak, Ariados, certain times of the day. The Pokemon that are locked behind the clock are Lediba, Ledian, Hoppip, Skiploom, Corsola, Sunkern, Hoot Hoot, Noctowl, Spinarak, Ariados, Misdreavus, Murkrow, Sneasel, and Houndour. By extension, the evolution...
Would you call on one more time?
Misdreavus, Murkrow, Sneasel, and Houndour.
Is that how you pronounce that?
By extension, the evolution-locked Pokemon from these lines, Sunflora and Houndoom, are locked behind time of day. Apom, Pineco, Fortress by extension, and Heracross can only be caught by headbutting specific random...
that was how you pronounce that Pokemon.
...randomized trees, while Hitmontop has to be evolved under stat-specific conditions. In total, 41% of the Johto Pokemon can only be captured if the player engages in some way with the new Generation 2 mechanics.
41%.
That's a hefty pool of Pokemon, and I'm a huge fan of this. Love it.
You're a huge fan.
And I love it because headbutting...
How do I pronounce it? Houndour.
Trees makes me feel like the Crocodile Hunter. I love the Crocodile Hunter. I also love Heracross. The appearance rate of Heracross is 30%, but that doesn't quite capture the depths of hunting that we're dealing with. Heracross has a 30% encounter rate on some trees, because Heracross's location is based on the trainer ID. It's not that big a deal. Just look it up on 37.970.147.73/headbutt%20grid.htm.
What? Yeah, this is simple.
Punch in your trainer
this is
ID
super easy.
You're a filthy cheater.
Otherwise,
the likelihood of finding a Heracross or a Pineco is unlikely, but not astronomically unlikely. Not unhinged and cursed. Not Feebas or Munchlax. One of the great appeals of Pokemon is that collecting and acquiring and building a team involves the hunt. When you embark on your journey to become the Pokemon Master as a kid, you don't know exactly what your party will be, or what Pokemon you find, or where you will find them. As a cynical adult with instant Bulbapedia access at all times, the thrill of finding rare and esoteric Pokemon is replaced by the annoyance of looking for them. The lack of foreknowledge in what you'll find is one of the great strengths of Nuzlocke, which is perhaps why there's such an appeal to that challenge run for players who otherwise know so much about these games. But that's a topic for another day. As a small child who...
Nuzlocke mentioned. Nuzlocke's mentioned. Oh my god.
Watched Pokemon on TV and had some cards, and played Fire Red, a game that, like Pokemon Coliseum, was purchased from my favorite video game store, Meyer, on my purple game.
Wait, Meyer? That's not... Meyer's a video game store now?
Boy Advance on the bus in second grade. I knew what the Pokemon were. I had seen them all, and wanting to catch them all, from the satanic to the gamer to the clandestine, was the appeal. This appeal would reverberate from the release of Red and Blue all the way to playing Pokemon Go every day, and I love Gold and Silver for emphasizing the hunt beyond RNG. Gold and Silver, with their time restrictions on Pokemon and roaming legendaries and lore Pokemon and gimmick Pokemon and baby Pokemon, creates a more interesting Pokedex to fill out. Catching them all in Red and Blue was not exactly difficult. There were difficult Pokemon for sure, but the ecosystem itself was limited. Sure, the Gen 2 Pokemon suck sometimes or are unusable, but who cares? Sometimes you need to scrounge around caves to find an elusive Dunsparce. That 1% mongrel has a BST of 415. That's decent firepower, but it's a Pokemon who primarily matters for how tedious it is to catch. Same for the babies who have to be bred and the legendaries that have to be tracked. Some of the most hated Pokemon in the series to catch include the trait evolutions and roaming legendaries and certain monstrosities later in the series like the aforementioned Gen 4 Munchlax or Spiritomb. I understand why it sucks, and it is a pain in the ass to catch Entei and Raikou. I will fully admit that praising the tediousness in catching some Pokemon is wistful. In the moment, it's actively distasteful to glide between a town and two routes with super repels and a level 39 Pokemon to catch Entei and Raikou, but also the Pokemon tagline is, gotta catch 'em all. If everything were free and also the same, why would you want to catch 'em all? A common refrain is that it just plain sucks to be unable to catch all Pokemon in a single save file or single run or with convenience. Me personally, I don't care. The social experience of Pokemon is too important to my love of the series to be sacrificed at the altar of convenience, an altar that's kinda silly for games that are, for the most part, very easy. Raikou being hard to get, especially for a kid, made it much cooler, and sometimes it isn't enough to have a Pokemon. Sometimes it's much better to want to have a Pokemon. But we're kind of losing the plot right now.
Yeah, a little
No matter
bit.
how much I like the new ways to catch Pokemon, no matter how much Gen 2 minorly favors its original roster, there's an overwhelming sense of melancholy around the Gen 2 roster, so let's try something else. Let's sort these Pokemon another way.
We're still talking about the roster? Oh my god. Okay, I think that having all of the different ways to catch something that is new and interesting and weird, I don't think it's a bad thing, and I kind of like it about Gen 2. I think the day-night cycle is interesting, and like you can only catch Hoot at night. That's kind of cute, and like you can only catch some of the bug types during like the during the bug catching contest, and like I don't have a problem. I don't really have a problem with all of the different new interesting ways to catch Pokemon. And if that is something that I've like never filled out a Pokedex, that is not why I played or play Pokemon games. But if the people who like to fill out the Pokedex, if that gives them a little bit of a hunt, if that gives them a little bit of a rush, then cool. And I think Gen 2 gave people who wanted to hunt for all of the Pokemon new ways to do it by doing time-based things or chasing the legendaries down or the 1% Dunsparce type deal. I have no problem with this, with that whole section. My only problem with Gen 2 is how weak some of the mons are. I think he'll get to that. I assume. But I agree to an extent.
On this graph, we have every single catchable wild Pokemon in the game, excluding fixed encounters and the roaming legendaries.
Sure.
Along this x-axis is a Pokemon's highest appearance rate. Along the y-axis is a Pokemon's base stat total.
Okay.
What I expected is that the rarer the Pokemon, the stronger it would be. This is generally true. This trend line, which I assume works, shows that as Pokemon become more common, they become weaker.
Sure.
There are
makes sense.
exceptions to this, and there are some Pokemon like Dunsparce that are more about the joy of the hunt than battle proficiency.
Sure.
However, fans of being disappointed by Gen 2 Pokemon may notice something. On this graph, Generation 1 Pokemon are in red, while Generation 2 Pokemon are in yellow. In general, Generation 2 Pokemon are both rarer and weaker than Generation 1 Pokemon.
Yeah.
For the 1% crew, Generation 2 has Meryl, Yanma, Dunsparce, and Snubbull, while Generation 1 gets Chansey. But, you know, Chansey now evolves into the Generation 2 original Blissey, so let's cut Gen 2 some slack here. I wonder what
Okay.
Yanma evolves into.
Yeah, what is Yanma?
If we go all the way to the other extreme, Pokemon with a 100%
remember.
encounter rate, we see a Generation 2 Pokemon on top. The 3 Gen 1 Pokemon here are Magikarp, Rattata, and Slowpoke.
Oh, jeez.
These are pretty good Pokemon that have strong evolutions. For Gen 2's 100%, 3 Gen 1 Pokemon here are Magikarp, Rattata, and Slowpoke. These are pretty good Pokemon that have strong evolutions.
Okay.
For Gen 2's 100% Pokemon, I've invited the excellent competitive player Zero Kim Chess on to discuss. So, I've brought on the pro amateur competitive player Zero Kim Chess. What's the highest you ever ranked?
Top 50 Gen 9 OU and top 50 Gen 9 Natdex before.
I just need to know for legitimacy's sake. Alright, what we're going to be doing here is I'm just going to show you a Pokemon. You're going to tell me all about, their competitive movesets and viability and how good they are, and don't think too hard about it. Just go with your gut reaction. So, first up.
Well, I mean, there's 26, or I guess 28 of them, right? So
What is the
if you
point
get
of
to bring
this?
28 to a battle, it's crazy. It's really bad.
Like, how bad? What can it do? Like, what would I do to make it good?
Click Ancient Power and hope for Omni Boosts.
Jesus. Okay, so Gen 2 Pokemon are rare and weak
Oh, unknown is the 100%. I see.
and suck, and it can't be that bad for everybody. Let's draw someone random out of a hat. Sunkern. At a
Don't even get.
clean 180 BST and a 30% spawn rate, Sunkern is the prototypical growth Pokemon. 180 is the lowest BST in the game.
Yes.
Magikarp,
Sunkern is the lowest BST in the entire game all the way up until Gen 8.
only slightly higher at 200, evolves into Gyarados, one of the strongest Pokemon in the game.
Yeah.
All Magikarp has to do to gain that extra 340 BST
get
is hit level 20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For Sunkern,
It's
Ascension
so
to Godhood
easy.
requires finding a Golden Fleece, the elusive Sunstone. In Gen 1, Evolution Stones only
And let's go ahead. Let's
Golden
take a
Fleece.
minute.
The elusive-
Let's take a minute to look at those stats. The elusive Sunstone and this dog shit seed pod. Oh, look, we get 105. We get 105 special attack. Oh, that's it. Look at the colors. Yellow, yellow, orange, green, yellow, orange, green. Fucking amazing green. Yellow, yellow, green, yellow. God.
Sunstone. In Gen
I
1,
hate Sunkern
Evolution
so
Stones
much.
only needed to be bought, and some, such as the Moonstone, could be found only after one badge.
Yeah.
To get our hands on that Sunstone, we need to come in first place in the bug catching contest.
Oh, that's easy.
An in-game event system with an unexplained, unintuitive scoring system that can only be done a single time on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah,
Look,
obviously.
here I am doing the bug catching contest and placing third with the pincer mouthfeel. I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm saying Angel Hernandez is calling balls and strikes. But if we
Oh, that's a good baseball reference. I didn't think we were going to get an MLB reference in here.
were to win
Oh, yeah.
that shiny new Sunstone,
Yeah.
will turn Sunkern,
Yeah.
a member of the defensively brilliant, offensively in-demand grass type,
Oh,
into
yeah.
Sunflora.
Beautiful.
a 425 base stat total behemoth. If Sunflora were catchable in the wild, it would rank as the 49th strongest catchable wild Pokemon.
There's no shot.
Giving it a
That is the 49th strongest Pokemon you can catch.
rarity score of not fucking worth it. This sort
Yeah.
of thing is all over Gold and Silver.
Not fucking worth
Many
it.
of the Gen 2 Pokemon are perfectly workable. Many are outright good. Many aren't worth the trouble. What makes many Pokemon worth the trouble is the cool factor. As we saw in the Onyx video, a Pokemon being perceived as cool, often by being the ace Pokemon of a major boss, makes up for basically any and all shortcomings. This reveals one of the other foundational issues many people have with these games. A common complaint about Pokemon Gold and Silver that I did not mention earlier is that the gym leaders don't use Generation 2 Pokemon.
Yes, this is in my opinion, this is the biggest offense that Gen 2 does. The biggest offense that Gen 2 does is that none of its gym leaders use anything from Gen 2. Show off the cool new Pokemon by having your gym leaders and your rival and your E4 use it.
Since very few Generation 2 Pokemon are locked to the post-game, I just had to check the numbers on the Johto gym leaders.
Yeah.
After all, the most notorious gym Pokemon in Gold and Silver is Miltank.
That's true.
And wouldn't you know it, Whitney's Miltank is the very first Gen 2 Pokemon that a gym leader uses.
And that's like Gym 4, isn't it?
Here are all 8 Johto gym leaders and their Pokemon.
Yeah. Dude. Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 1, I think Gen 1, maybe Gen 2, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 2, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 2. What is this? This is dog shit.
In total, that's 23 Pokemon, and 3 of them are Gen 2 originals.
4. Okay.
Whitney's Miltank, Jasmine's Steelix, Price's Piloswine, and Claire's Kingdra. 17% of all Johto gym leader Pokemon are Gen 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, that's bad. I think this screen cap right here is the worst offense that Gen 2 makes.
To put that into perspective, 13% of all Johto gym leader Pokemon are Dragonair. 17% of all Johto gym leader Pokemon are in the Gengar line. You are about as likely to encounter a Gen 2 Pokemon during the Super Boss fight against Red, a fight that's fan service to Gen 1 end of the Pokemon anime, as you are against the Johto gym leaders.
Woof.
The numbers for our little terrible dogshit Gen 2 Pokemon get better the wider we spread our net. If we include all bosses, which I decided was all the gym leaders in Johto and Kanto, the Elite Four and Champion, the rival fights, Rocket Executive fights, and the Red fight, we have 141 boss Pokemon. 36 total, or 26% of those, are Gen 2 Pokemon.
Whoa.
That, numerically, makes sense. The Johto Dex is only about 40% of the overall total Pokedex, with a solid portion of that being the new baby Pokemon that aren't going to appear in boss fights. But what we have to keep in mind is that 11 of those 36 Gen 2 Pokemon are Silver, Starter, and Sneasel. In total, of the 100 Gen 2 Pokemon, only 22 appear as boss Pokemon. I don't necessarily find this shocking. Some Pokemon like Sunkern and Hoppip wouldn't fit as boss Pokemon for the same reason you wouldn't use Pidgey or Metapod or Kakuna as boss Pokemon. The reception of Pokemon Gold and Silver holds that this sucks.
It does
that it's
suck.
a major problem to represent Gen 2 so poorly in its boss rosters.
I agree.
Why? Why is this a problem?
Because you want to see the cool thing. I bought a brand new game for $60 whole, and I want to see all the cool Pokemon that are new to the $60 game I just had my mom buy. But instead, I go up to the cool gym fight, and then I fight a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto. And then I go around and I try to catch new Pokemon, and I catch a Rattata, and then I catch a Pidgey, and then, ooh, I get a knockdown. And that's cool. And then I play through, and I'm like, oh, well, this is just a warm-up. I bet you the next thing is really good and really cool and really fun. No, No, it's 3 Gen 1 Pokemon again. And you're like, wow. Okay, well, there's a bunch more. There's a bunch more. And then finally, Whitney, you get a Miltank, and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's new. But, like, you haven't been able to catch that many yet. It's like, ugh. That's why it's a problem. Is because I could just go play red again. Or go play blue. Or go play green. If I want to see all of the Pokemon. And these are supposed to be mascots for the new generation.
Pokemon is a simple game. Why?
Why is this a problem?
Why is this a problem?
Because
Pokemon
it's
is a
not as
simple
cool.
game. Single-player Pokemon often boils down to selecting your strongest attacking move, sometimes your type advantage move, to kill the enemy before they kill you. While that's reductive
Sure.
and could describe most violent video games,
Yeah.
Pokemon is generally that simple, with most other move options like stat changing and status effects taking on more niche roles in single-player Pokemon. It is.
I don't think so. So you're telling me that you don't want to use toxic stall strats with stuff like Wish and Slack Off with Toxic or like Sludge Bomb? You don't try to get paralysis on, like, you're not saying that Static on Mareep is busted and paralysis with the speed drop is great, is like irrelevant?
After all, an RPG for children.
Yeah. Okay,
Fun
yeah.
for the whole family. Swapping out Faulkner's Pidgeotto for a Noctowl or one of more.
God damn it. How do I turn off the fucking...
Fun for the whole family. Swapping out Faulkner's Pidgeotto for a Noctowl or one of Morty's Haunters for Mischievous changes what? It changes a coat of paint.
Yeah. What are you talking about? That's the whole point of the video game. That's the whole point of the visual media. It changes the coat of paint to the new color I like. What do you mean? I want to see the new coat of paint. I bought the new car with the new coat of paint. I don't want to buy the new car with rust on it. I want to buy the new coat of paint. What do you mean?
Haunters for Mischievous changes what? It changes a coat of paint.
Yeah.
The way you play against a Mischievous and Noctowl in Gen 2 casual single player is the same as a Pidgeotto and Haunter.
Who
You
cares?
select the attack move and you kill them, likely
Yeah.
the same move from the same Pokemon.
Yeah.
An Aristotelian approach to Pokemon would say it doesn't matter, that neither the Pidgeotto nor the Noctowl have any effect on the game. But Pokemon isn't an empirical system analyzed for all its numbers under the hood. Pokemon is, regretfully, art, so the PNGs that we blast
What do you mean regretfully?
with Meganium Razor Leaves and Quagsirian Digs matter. Gym leaders are arbitrary, foolishly themed by type. On one hand, this makes them incredibly easy. Watch as my Golbat, Victor, kills Chuck with 3 wing attacks and no resistance. On the other hand, theming provides an opportunity to showcase new Pokemon, to infect the player's brain with the new creatures that roam the new lands of a new game. With the numbers under the hood being negligibly different and the gameplay approach being the same, the novelty of seeing Noctowl is worth more than a Pidgeotto.
Yes.
The major side quest across all
I agree.
mainline Pokemon games is completing the Pokedex. The
Sure.
Pokedex subdivides itself across Pokemon Caught and Pokemon Seen. Completing the Pokedex and experiencing the unknown wilds of Pokemon is as important as defeating gym leaders to the aesthetic drive of Pokemon. Seeing new and unknown Pokemon and boss teams fills out the Pokedex and tickles the imagination and makes the new Pokemon seem not only exotic, but powerful. In the mind of my child self in 2004, a Pokemon being on a gym leader's team mythologized it. There was something awe-inspiring about Raichu, and Onix, and Alakazam, and Vileplume. These were Pokemon strong enough to test me, strong
Yeah.
enough to be the goalposts to Pokemon mastery. In this sense, Pokemon Gold and Silver actually fare better than you would expect. practice, the boss Pokemon that matters the most is the boss's ace.
I would agree.
Lieutenant Surge's Raichu goes hard because it's the true challenge you have to overcome. His Voltorb and Pikachu are merely prerequisites.
Sure.
Of the 8 Johto gym leaders and the Elite Four and Champion, 7 of the 13 use Gen 2 Pokemon as their aces.
7 out of the 13. Okay.
The aforementioned 4 Gen 2 gym Pokemon, Miltank, Steelix, Piloswine, and Kingdra, are all the aces of their gyms.
Sure.
In addition to them,
Is there nothing... Sure, this is like later in the game. I guess, besides Whitney, like, do you not want to start off strong? Do you not want to show your player the new cool thing right away? What is the point of hiding all of the new cool stuff to the last 3 gyms besides Whitney? Like, why can't this be a Noctowl? Why can't this be a Heracross? Why can't this Ghastly be a Mischievous? Like, what is the point? Why can't Chuck have Hitmontop and Hitmonlee? Or like, or Hitmontop or something? Like, why do we want to save the cool new coat of paint for the end of the game? Why don't you want to show the new cool coat of paint in the beginning of the game, like Whitney does? The only way you're going to beat Gen 1 is if you have 150 new Pokemon and you don't bring back the old ones. No, I don't think that's the case. I think that they could have done this better and not had a new 151.
Piloswine, and Kingdra are all the aces of their gyms. In addition to them, Will's Xatu, Koga's Crobat, and Karen's Houndoom are all their respective aces.
Yeah.
Over half of the game's major fights use Gen 2 Pokemon as their aces, and that's pretty cool.
I agree. That is
But
pretty
is that
cool.
normal? Excluding Gen 1, where every Pokemon was original,
Sure.
let's take a look at another generation. In this case, Ruby and Sapphire. Of the 13
Yeah, the
Gen,
GOAT.
Elite Four, and Champion fights, 12 use Generation 3 Pokemon as their aces.
Yeah. That's the only one who
And
doesn't.
a whoopering 80% of the total Pokemon
Yeah.
in those fights are Gen 3.
Yeah.
Watson, what happened, my guy?
Don't.
What are you doing?
Why does everyone hate Watson?
Anyways, after Gen 2, it became standard practice to make ace Pokemon native to the new generation.
Yeah.
But the phrase after Gen 2 is important. Like with Red and Blue, there was very little standardized in Generation 2.
Sure.
In 1999, it was more standardized for a Pokemon game to include a condensed version of a previous region than to make aces out of the new Pokemon species. The true terror, the abomination of this video so far is that I haven't played a single frame of Pokemon Gold and Silver since I was 11. September 8th, 2008 was when I first started playing Pokemon Silver, and once my save file vanished with the sweet, sweet lithium anode that powered its day-night cycle sometime around Mount Silver, before I had a chance at challenging Red, I put the game away, only taking it out to see if, one day, in vain, the little dead battery inside had just a little bit more to give. One final push to see the cartridge it's called home for a quarter century completed so that it can finally be laid to rest. Sadly, there's still nothing there.
That's
Maybe
unfortunate.
someday he will return to us.
That sucks.
For now,
That's so
we
rough.
must turn our eyes elsewhere to the Nintendo Switch Online, to the Nintendo PC, so I can return my feet to the warm sands of New Barktown. All the numbers we crunched, the BSTs, the spawn rates, the catching order, it was based on Pokemon Silver, that game I played so long ago. So, in the spirit of throwing away all the work we put in, let's play the very different, very similar, very different Pokemon Crystal.
What are we done? Wait, what are we doing now? That part sucks, yeah. Yeah, for sure, but I don't think they could ever beat Gen 1.
At the start of the
yeah.
game-
I don't think they could ever beat the nostalgia of Gen 1, ever.
I pick up a Chikorita. I've never used a Chikorita before. Not when I played Silver as a kid, and not when I played Soul Silver as a slightly older kid, and not when I played Coliseum as an unemployed adult.
So
Many
true,
people say
bestie.
that Chikorita sucks. Something about poor type matchups against the Johto gym leaders. Is that true? Let's find out. But first things first. Let's catch a Bellsprout. You can find one very quickly. And while I don't see the use, many people in stream chat were saying it goes hard and I should catch it. So I caught it. And where are we going? What's going on here? Someone help, I don't know what's happening. Where's this Bellsprout taking me? We're 10 minutes into the game and how are we back here already? Right from the beginning, the game gives you many options, including the 1% Dunsparce. But the one that feels the most right is to trade a Bellsprout for an Onix in Violet City. Because, you know, I talked a lot of shit about Onix in the past. I used the poor guy as clickbait.
Yeah, Onix does suck, though.
Let's see him redeem himself.
He will not redeem
Contend.
himself.
In Major League Baseball, there's a stat called wins above replacement, or WAR for short. The basic
Oh god. Okay. Batting runs. Okay.
idea is that this number consolidates all the positive and negative contributions of a player into a
Okay.
single number to roughly represent how many more wins that player contributed than a hypothetical AAA replacement player that would have played in his place. Imagining
Interesting.
such a stat for Pokemon is tantalizing. But WAR has been developed for years and will continue to develop further, and Pokemon, unlike professional baseball, is easy. But still, let's try a very unscientific method. I reached the Elite Four with a party of C-Money the Meganium, Can Opener the Heracross, Rocky the Steelix, at Speedy Hawk the Suicune, Victor the Crobat, and Fish the Lantern.
Fish.
During the Vicious Gauntlet of
I
Gen
love
2
fish.
Victory Road, I swapped out Rocky for an egg gifted by the daycare couple.
Okay.
This second egg tutorial and first breeding tutorial has some variants. Unlike the first egg that always hatches into a Metronome Togepi,
Yeah.
this egg is a goodie bag of shitty Pokemon. You can get any of the non-Togepi babies from it, and I wanted to know what baby I was going to add to my Pokedex, and I walked straight into the Elite Four with the egg, forgetting to get Rocky back out, and so now we get to the answer of the question we have all been waiting for. Does Onix contribute more in the Elite Four of Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal than an egg? I don't want to belabor the point or make an entire narrative out of the answer because you all know the answer. The answer is of course fucking not. I beat the Elite Four, an Elite Four that I've not seen since I was 11, with an egg in the party and no Onix. This could be said of any Pokemon in the game. I beat the Elite Four with no Tyranitar or Typhlosion or Mewtwo, but with an egg. What stands out in this example, though, is that not only did I not have one of my mainstay party members from the entire game benched in Bill's PC, but I didn't even miss him. Is this mean? Yeah, but keep in mind that ground type attacks are really good in Pokemon. They destroy poison types, electric
Sure.
types,
Yes.
fire types,
Yes.
rock types,
Yes.
and the new steel type.
Yes.
Some of these, like steel and rock, are nice because they're generally bulky Pokemon.
What's the point
And
here?
poison type is nice because it's the secondary typing of many Pokemon, including some tough motherfuckers like Gengar.
Yeah.
Onix gets stab ground, so he's dealing 1 damage times 1.5 damage times 2 damage if it's super effective, and 4 times damage if it's super effective. That's like 6 times base damage when he's up against something really strong like a Magnemite. But going into the Elite Four, Onix evolved into a Steelix, somehow only knew Mud Slap as his ground move, and that
That's
move had to be taught by TM.
really bad.
You could say, oh, whoa, why not give Steelix Dig or Earthquake? Both can be taught via TM.
Yeah,
and
why didn't
all
you do
I can
that?
say to that is, what if I need them later?
You're at
Who
the
might need these moves later?
you're at the E4. Just teach it before the. Oh, I guess he forgot. That's
Why
Steelix.
Steelix, of course. Consider this as we finally give Onix his day in the now super effective sun.
Yeah, it's
Sabrina
EQ.
is the second gym leader I fought in Kanto. Watch with wonder as he digs to avoid future sight damage, and then also watch
Oh, I
and
forgot
wonder
about
as a
Kanto.
poisoned Mr. Mime survives long enough for the typeless future sight of a deceased Alakazam to kill Steelix on a turn that Sandstorm would have killed Mr. Mime. It's not that bad all the time for Onix. What's fun
Oof.
about getting a trade Pokemon before the first gym in the game is that you get the opportunity to work around one of Pokemon's oldest balancing tricks, traded Pokemon disobeying the player. With only one badge, Rocky will only obey the trainer if it's level 10 or below.
Right.
Above that, it's anyone's guess. Who cares? Fuck it, we ball, and all that. The second gym leader, Bugsy, is notoriously easy because bug types in general are easy to destroy early in games.
Yeah, they're
But
weak.
since I had a Meganium and no flyer and normal moves are boring, I took Onyx, buffed by his elevated experience gain, who would not obey me until I received the badge from Bugsy, and used him to beat Bugsy. Onyx doesn't respect losers. I agree. And like a loser, I went with the tried and true strategy of using Bind,
Yeah.
hoping Onyx obeyed long enough to land one, and waiting out the Bind damage. People say Bind is a bad move, but really, I think they aren't trying hard enough to unbalance one of Pokemon's oldest balancing tricks. And for someone with my
Sure.
mediocre planning skills, tricks and nonsense is all that I have. At some point, rotting around the routes of Olivine City, I experienced the sublime joys of being bad at Pokemon. My team consisted of Bayleaf, Chinchou, Onix, Golbat, and Heracross. There's a big old water route where the most common Pokemon is Tentacool, so Bayleaf couldn't Razor Leaf everything.
But yeah, I feel like it seems like a Steel Tape video. I feel like this is off topic. I agree. I don't know what the point of this part is. What is the point? What are we talking about?
Chinchou,
right
an
now?
electric type, was still 4 levels away from learning Spark. The fighting type gym, led by Chuck, would be great for Golbat, but he doesn't learn Wing Attack
This is just a like him playing the game.
until level 30. And Jasmine, the Steel Gym leader of Olivine, is out of level range, and my best counter, Onyx, is Onyx. Every option for progress would require some teeth gnashing, and this little stretch of video game revealed the great strength of Gen 2's overall map design. Around the time the player gets to Ecruteak
Map design. The greatness of the map design. Oh my! Is this all to talk about the map?
City, the game has been a mostly linear jog along this circle that starts Johto. Once the player is good and juiced up, beats Morty, and can surf outside of battle, 3 different Pokemon gyms open up to the player, all fairly equal in raw difficulty that can be tackled in any order. Based on the player's team composition, the fights will have variable actual difficulty, and while that means the fights the player does last will be easier, that's kind of the point. Instead of putting a series of brick walls in front of the player, the most brickly of the brick walls can be softened up by the player addressing the challenges in a sequence that works for them, rather than having to grind out each individual section. This design choice is
Sure.
expanded on in Kanto, where the 8 gyms can be fought in pretty much any order, with the order the player goes in reflecting need as much as convenience. For example, one of the final badges I got was Sabrina's because my party in Crystal wasn't well equipped to deal with psychic types, so I saved it. No Beedrill sweep to be found here. To give Steelix his flowers, his Mudslaps destroyed those Magnemites and that bum Steelix in Jasmine's gym because, like all Pokemon, he can work. All
Yeah.
Pokemon can work except Porygon 2, because, let's be honest, you're not putting in the work to get Porygon 2. No one would do that. No one. There's no way. I'm not
Wow, how do you get Porygon
doing
2?
it, am I? No, not doing it. Because Porygon is purchasable from the Celadon Game Corner after beating Team Rocket and the Elite Four in all of Johto, and after you get the amulet coin and stick it on the can opener and grind out hardcore cash, you can blow it all on gambling tokens before reaching across the Chuck E. Cheese prize counter
Okay.
and snatching the program Pokemon Porygon and subjecting this poor
Okay.
artificial animal to a fate of getting double
Okay.
kicked by Nidokings. Or,
That's not how you pronounce that Pokemon.
grab the upgrade disc from the guard
Okay.
at Silco, evolve the guy into Porygon 2, give him the
Okay.
Physic TM from Mr. Physics House, level him up,
Okay.
walk into Janine's Poison-type gym, use Agility twice, use Conversion to turn him into a Psychic type for
Okay.
Stab Psychic,
Sure.
and sweep the former 6th, present 14th gym.
I didn't realize that Porygon 2 was that difficult to get. And also, that is one of the generation lines we are counting in that 42% or 52% of Pokemon.
Design-wise, Porygon is one of my favorite Pokemon.
Sure.
Giving him 2 exotic
cool.
evolutions locked behind trades and his mythologized anime appearance is cool, and using Porygon 2
Oh,
in the
yeah.
post-game gave me a newfound appreciation for the digital duck. Many people in
The
the comments
digital
of the Gen
duck.
1 video noted that Porygon has a small competitive niche in Gen 1 where it serves as a strong counter against Snorlax.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
didn't look too much into competitive because I'm not a competitive player, and frankly
That
don't
makes
know
sense.
enough to offer any meaningful insight. However, such knowledge did inspire me to explore Porygon more. And what I love about his single-player utility is that it's so pliable.
Okay,
Porygon can fill any hole in any team.
that makes sense.
I made mine a functional psychic type, but its ability to learn many powerful moves allows it to both cover gaps in your team and take advantage of powerful TMs that are likely rotting away in the player's backpack. Sadly for Porygon 2, also known as Stuart, the gap between its power and red
Stuart.
gave it limited opportunities to shine. Maybe one or two iconic battles. It's nothing Porygon 2 should feel bad about. I used Meganium for this playthrough. There's a long-standing tradition that Meganium sucks, which isn't true. The game can easily be beaten with Meganium, but saying Meganium can beat the game is like calling a Bic lighter a central heating unit. Yeah. Let's get
That's rude. Why'd you burn his leg off? Also, have Porygon 2 having to being able to sweep 2 fights throughout the game is really good. At least from our like nuzlocking perspective. Being able to one-trick sweep something is pretty dope. And the fact that it can like be molded into like any type and can be taught a whole bunch of TMs and stuff is really good. I didn't realize that Porygon 2 or Porygon and Porygon 2 were like that in depth.
crafty with it and make a defensive specialist grass type work. Yeah. Let's get crafty.
Also, Meganium can burn, I guess. I mean, it's a grass type. It doesn't like fire.
Calling a Bic lighter a central heating unit. Yeah. Let's get crafty with it and make a
Okay.
defensive specialist grass type work.
Mm-hmm.
The whole game feels just so slightly stacked against Meganium. The bosses are mostly offensively or defensively strong against grass. The Rocket
Sure.
executives all use poison types.
Sure.
Tentacool is such a common wild Pokemon that you're better off using electricity when surfing.
Makes
And
sense.
all the mandatory rock tunnels and mountain climbers can easily be dispatched by whatever water Pokemon is required to
Guys, what does Rhyhorn evolve into? I don't remember.
tunnels and mountain climbers can easily be dispatched by whatever water
Rhydon, why don't you go ahead on and ride on these nuts? Got him.
Pokemon is required to use Surf and Waterfall. Using Meganium was easy. This is Gen 2 Pokemon, but it felt like forcing the issue. Throughout the game, Meganium and my whole party was constantly chasing an ever-moving goalpost. Just hit level 32 to evolve. Just hit level 41 to get Light Screen. Just hit level 61 to get Solar Beam. Just hit Bill's PC to positively contribute. I can be as facetious as I want about this, but it's a partial strength of Red and Blue, and one of the major strengths of Gold and Silver. From the moment Professor Elm donates the player attacks right off up until the final fight with Red at the far reaches of the postgame, there was always a Pokemon whose build was under construction. There was always something to work towards for most of the Pokemon I used. Early in the game, I needed Chinchou to hit level 25 to learn Spark, and then hit level
Sure.
27 to evolve into Lantern. And
Sure.
at the end of the game, I saved up $80,000 to learn Thunderbolt from the Goldenrod Game Corner Saturday scammer. By the time the credits rolled, I had successfully completed builds of Pokemon like Steelix, Crobat, Lantern, and the Tyranitar Dirtbag, while some Pokemon like Porygon 2 and Heracross never hit their full peaks.
Gotcha.
For some players, this is heinous behavior on the game's part. The game locks cool Pokemon like Skarmory, Porygon, Tyranitar, and Houndoom to the late and or post-game.
Yeah,
Many
that's bad.
evolutions like stones and held items are locked to Kanto.
Yeah, that's bad.
Many powerful moves like Mega Horn and Flamethrower are locked behind astronomically high levels, and many of the game's
Yeah.
trainers, even into the final routes of Kanto, use Pokemon whose levels are in the 20s and 30s,
Yeah.
which results in deflated experience yield. This makes getting
And also just makes it easy.
to those high levels without grinding difficult, and for some Pokemon, unlikely. I understand why this is frustrating. The game has fun toys in it, and it's fun to use those toys, but the game restricts those toys. Your mileage may vary on this, but I'm a fan of building characters and Pokemon. I like the feeling of incompleteness. I like always having new goals and benchmarks that shift and move as the game goes on. If my team were fully complete by the Elite Four and doing little beyond that other than stat inflating, the Kanto portion of the game would be, frankly, boring.
I posit one additional thing. Why is Kanto in the game? I understand why Kanto is in the game, obviously. But, like, there's just so much inflation with, like, high levels for movesets, needing stones that are locked behind the first Elite Four, Pokemon on, like, Pokemon in Victory Road being, like, level 30. Like, it's weirdly inflated, and I like building Pokemon too. I like having a goal to go get something, like building Ludicolo for the Elite Four and the Emerald Hardcore Nuzlocke. That was fun. We found Ice Beam. We went to go get the grass or the Water Stone. We made sure we got all the vitamins. We built Ludicolo to be a badass tank, to be able to handle the Elite Four almost by himself. And then that's the same, not to that extent, but that was the same with the rest of my Emerald Hardcore Nuzlocke team. It's like everybody had a niche, everybody had the TMs that they needed. We had to go find different items for them, and that was fun. And that was enjoyable. But there was like an end goal to it. Gen 2 feels like there isn't ever an end goal because it has to balance itself around being two games. Gen 2 and then Kanto, and then going back to the Elite Four after Kanto. Bad movesets isn't new, yeah. I don't think movesets got fixed till like Gen 4 or Gen 5. But I don't know.
The game goes on.
Yeah.
If my team were fully complete by the Elite Four and doing little beyond that other than stat inflating, the Kanto...
Then it would be good, because then you would be at the Elite Four, and the Elite Four is the main challenge. The Elite Four is the penultimate situation, except for, like, the red fight afterwards. You are building these Pokemon for the Elite Four. The goal is the Elite Four. You should be done crafting the ultimate team so then you can take down the Elite Four and prove that you are the Pokemon master that you have become by building these teams.
A portion of the game would be, frankly, boring. I was, once upon a time, famous, as you can tell by my subscriber count, for making Fire Emblem videos and analysis, and an issue I've always had with that series is that the late games of many Fire Emblem games flatten out when characters finish their builds or when experience gain begins to slow down.
That's
the
fair.
early and mid games of that series are filled with micro objectives. Get this character to level 15, develop this support level, grind out this weapon rank, that liven up the macro objectives of completing levels and saving the world. So many of my runs of Fire Emblem games flamed out as these micro objectives, these short-term goalposts, dried up. Pokemon Gold and Silver avoids this by dispersing so many of the powerful moves and high-level evolutions and strong TMs across the entire game, constantly emphasizing growth over a finished product. This is fun, not just mechanically, but also as a vehicle to portray Pokemon's unchanging Everstone worldview. A major theme of the game, one that Silver, the game's Auburn rival, struggles with, is that Pokemon isn't about power, but growth. Being a mighty trainer is about growth. By the time he accepts this, in the hollows of Mount Silver, his party, seemingly complete, still has more to grow into. If the player fights Silver one final time at the Indigo Plateau, his Golbat, a Pokemon he has had going all the way back to Goldenrod City, has finally evolved into Crobat. Not only is this metaphorically significant because Crobat is a happiness evolution, it also shows that the journey to become stronger is more important than overwhelming everything that lies ahead of you. Thematically, it's resonant both with Silver and the player's own journey. In Pokemon past and present, flexibility is one of those minor skills that you don't really need to develop, but can help out a lot, especially for enjoying the games rather than being good at them. Some of the complaints about Gen 2, if addressed by Gold and Silver, wouldn't really improve the games. Rather, they would allow players to get more entrenched and stuck in their ways. All Pokemon would have good availability, all Pokemon would have a signature stab move that's available early in their lives, and everything would be varying shades of the same. Many players want their 6-party Pokemon to be obtainable relatively quickly, and to be built relatively quickly. It's fun to have that fully operational battle station as long as possible, but if the player is
I would just like to see more of the Gen 2 Pokemon to be seen more often. I don't need them to be complete early in the game. I don't need them to be complete early in the game. What else did he say?
It's fun to have that fully operational battle station as long as possible, but if the player is willing to mix and match, is willing to let some Pokemon go, and is willing to build their pocket monsters over time, the game's design emerges as a contributor.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool.
Rather than an impediment to enjoyment. I beat the Elite Four with a party of Meganium, Heracross, Crobat, Lantern, Suicune, and Egg, and beat Red with a party of Steelix, Heracross, Crobat, Tyranitar, Porygon 2, and Lantern. Across Kanto, I turned over half of my party, and only had to stop and grind exactly one level in my entire playthrough to get Pupitar to level 52 to eat 3 rare candies before Red. If you take the game as a whole, those post-game Pokemon, your Porygons, and Larvitars, and Houndours, and Slugmas.
Houndour? I literally have never pronounced it like that. Also, Slugmanuts.
Go from artificially restricted to Pokemon that get substantial opportunity to shine. Porygon 2 and Tyranitar, 2 of my Gen 2 favorites, had ample opportunity to be great. Yeah, it sucks on some level that Tyranitar only gets one story fight to shine, but it also preserves its mythical status as rare and powerful. Really, the only Gen 2 Pokemon that I feel were done excessively dirty were Mischievous and Murkrow, because neither has the raw power of Tyranitar or Houndoom, or the incredible flexibility of Porygon 2 to justify them being unusable for so much of the game.
That's super true.
It just feels a little sad. I'm sure, though, that we will have plenty of time to talk about this later, because this video will never end. But why talk about later when there's time now? I said Mischievous got done dirty, but while Nin, the editor of this video, was goofing around in Crystal, he used a Mischievous at base level to knock out Red Snorlax. Hey look, that's Tyranitar's utility without having to put any work in at all.
Whoa!
Yeah! Red himself, whether you call him the true final boss or a secret super boss or whatever you want to say, marks the end of the journey in Gen 2, and there's an infamy with Red because of the heinous levels that his Pokemon have. What makes him so intimidating is this combination of high levels that are, for the most part, only for show. I, a genuinely mediocre Pokemon player, beat him with exactly one level of grinding to get the Game Corner Larvitar into a Tyranitar. And his mixed team. Generally, in Pokemon, you have 2 types of boss fights: typed teams and mixed teams.
Sure.
Gym leaders and Elite Four members are usually typed, while rivals and champions are usually mixed.
Yeah.
Typed teams usually ask players to have prepared counters to a specific problem. Chuck, for example, has 2 high-level fighting-type Pokemon, so the game is seeing if you have a strong counter to those Pokemon. For young players, that usually comes down to super effective options. Do you have a strong flying type or psychic type?
Yeah, most of the time.
It's never really that restrictive, and there are almost as many answers as there are Pokemon in the game, but in general, the challenge of a gym leader is having the 1 or 2 offensive and defensive counters to the gym. For mixed-type battles, the challenge is about flexibility, and having a holistic approach where each Pokemon can handle different problems, but need each other for victory. Mixed fights are often more difficult fights because it's harder to sweep through an entire team with 1 or 2 Pokemon. Bruno, for example, has a Hitmontop, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Machamp as 4 out of his 5 Pokemon, which means a Crobat can barrel over his whole crew basically uninterrupted. Well, what about his Onix, you might say? And Bite is now Dark-type, I say, but I didn't test it because that would be stupid when I have 2 Surf users. Is it bad design to have most fights in the game weak to one type? Yes, no, maybe so. Consider that a pin
It's a
question
child's game.
for another video. But
Yeah,
with monotype
we'll talk about
teams,
that
we see
later.
a couple interesting designs begin to emerge in Gold and Silver that will be built upon later in the series. There are, as of now, 171 different Pokemon type combinations that can exist. And hey, look at that! I
Holy.
learned what mathematical combinations are between the Gen 1 video and this one.
Congrats.
Only 9 combinations. Normal Rock, Normal Bug, Normal Steel, Poison Ice, Ground Fairy, Rock Ghost, Bug Dragon, and Fire Fairy remain unused. Which is a shame, because a Poison Ice Muck variant sounds tight as hell, but
That does
what's
sound
notable
cool.
about all these different typings is that the monotype structure can become more dynamic as the series progresses. One of my favorite tricks that some gym leaders pull is having a Pokemon whose typing cancels out a common weakness for the gym.
Yeah, Wish Cash.
For example, Winona, the flying gym leader of
Yeah.
Pokemon Emerald, uses an Altaria whose dragon typing cancels out its weakness to electricity,
Yeah.
and a Skarmory whose steel typing cancels out its rock weakness.
Yeah.
The introduction of abilities from Gen 3 onwards makes these types of challenges even more common, but that's a discussion for Gen 3. Early on in the series, these subversions weren't as easy to do because the pool of available Pokemon was much more limited.
That makes
In
sense.
Gen 1, the only gym leader Pokemon that counters the gym's type weakness is Sabrina's Venomoth. Gen 2 likewise only has one gym leader that resists a type's weakness, in this case Claire's Kingdra against Ice. While the
Yeah,
number
yeah,
itself
yeah.
is the same, what
That
makes
makes sense.
Kingdra more exciting than Venomoth is that Kingdra is a dragon type. Unlike Venomoth or Bruno's Onix in the Elite Four, Kingdra maintains the kayfabe of the gym's type. This is a weird thing to care about because it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that a fight's fun.
Yeah, what's
In
the
my
point
playthrough
here?
of Crystal, the fight against Karen, the Dark type Elite Four member, was much more fun than Chuck, the fighting gym leader. Even though Karen breaks her Dark type with Vileplume and Gengar, her fight is both long enough and varied enough to be a fun fight. The
I agree.
monotype structure for gyms is a gimmick that's mostly fun for its own sake. There's nothing sacred about it, nor is there some secret genius to it. Yet, I love it. Like wrestlers, the gimmicks of these leaders have greater aesthetic importance than whatever gameplay ramifications they have. Look at the way the designs of Faulkner, Bugsy, Claire, and Lance reflect their chosen types. Sometimes it's pretty basic, like yeah, Faulkner's just some dude that walks around with a bird cage. Other times it can
Let's
be
go, Kramer Ant Matching.
a little more subtle, like how Claire's design reflects her dragons of the sea, while Lance's reflects his dragons of the sky. In these
Yeah.
design choices,
These
big
are really
and
cool.
small,
I agree.
we see the limits of perfect optimized design. Theoretically, Pokemon would be a better designed series if its gym leaders and major bosses followed a gentle ramp-up of difficulty and complexity, taking advantage of varied teams of diverse Pokemon and typings, and slowly escalated the pressure on players to understand the nuance of utility moves, weather, stage traps,
Yeah.
novel dual types, physical
Yeah.
special typings, the split between defense and special defense, and on down the list of gently explained, rarely meaningful mechanics that underscore the super effective tapping that defines most of Pokemon's combat.
It would be cool. It would be really cool if they did that. And it's like a lot of ROM hacks do that. And they still keep the monotype
Getting good at Pokemon,
thing.
being able to take advantage of all these small features of the systems
Yeah.
and the moves and the individual Pokemon is deeply satisfying.
Yes, it is.
But this is a small part of the games. And limits are
why is it? I think you're I guess I would just have a different perspective. I don't feel like that's a small part of the game. That's a big part of the game for us trying to do challenge runs, is understanding and mastering all of the little stuff and finding new and different ways to not just click the super effective button, because sometimes the super effective button doesn't work all the way, but also super effective sound good.
ability to appreciate what the Pokemon games do. The moves and the individual Pokemon is deeply satisfying. But this is a small part of the games.
It's not,
and limits
though.
our ability to
I
appreciate
guess.
what the Pokemon games do. If the procession of gyms in Gold and Silver were on a gentle upward curve of complexity, Abandoning the monotype structure for diverse teams, the game would be strategically superior, activating more neurons in the brain of devilish gamers,
Yeah.
but it would lose some of the character that defines Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think it needs
Would
to do that.
Gold and Silver be better if the themed fights of Lance and Jasmine were replaced by strategically more demanding, aesthetically less distinct fights?
I don't think so.
High-intensity Pokemon challenges do have a place, but oftentimes the main story with its adventuring and evildoers and rags-to-riches childhood dreams is the wrong place for it.
What?
When I'm playing through the story of a Pokemon game, give
Yeah.
me the simple aesthetic pleasure of throwing boulders around Chuck's gym and blasting electrodes in the radio tower.
Yeah, sure.
For more
sure,
advanced
sure.
players and players that really want to sink their teeth into the depth of Pokemon's battle system and team building, there is competitive, a completely unlimited resource. And in the single player, there is post-game. Some of the most popular features in Pokemon are the Battle Frontier in Pokemon Emerald, and the Pokemon Tower, which has appeared in many games. It originates here in Pokemon Crystal. What makes the Battle Tower and similar high-level challenges important is that they let the Pokemon games have it both ways. They get the easy, light, fun, colorful adventure of the main game while also satisfying the ravenous thirst to master the back and forth of Pokemon's combat. The circle of players that loves Pokemon battles is not quite as big as the circle of players that love Pokemon, but it's still a big circle, and one that was identified quickly. There is not a lot of mechanical satisfaction to be found in Gold and Silver's postgame. After defeating the Elite Four, the player is allowed to explore Kanto, the old stomping grounds of Red and Blue. Kanto is both truncated and corrupted by the deforestation of Viridian Forest and the metamorphosis of the Pokemon Tower from a sacred burial ground to a radio tower, a foul monument to the commodification of all land and tradition by capitalist orthodoxy.
Didn't realize we were going to get that. Mic drop now.
Mechanically, it's
Cool. I didn't realize that the Lavender... Wait, did the Lavender Tower turn into Radio Tower?
of all land and
Wow.
tradition by capitalist orthodoxy.
Okay.
Mechanically, it's less a sandbox and more a slaughterhouse. The player, fresh off dominating the Elite Four, is allowed to exterminate the 8 Kanto gyms that once stood mighty over Pokemon Red and Blue. Kanto tops off the story, provides fan service, lets the player fill out the Pokedex, and is generally great. It even gives you the best item in the Pokemon series, the Berserk gene. On one hand, the low difficulty means that using some of the Kanto Pokemon, like Porygon and Slugma, is possible. But on the other hand, it established a white whale for Pokemon fans that still remains uncaptured 25 years later. A game that takes players through multiple regions. But outside of Red, the contemplative and quiet Pokemon master that meditates atop Mount Silver, there is nothing that takes the challenge beyond Lance. Nothing that demands more of the player's battle mastery than the main game.
Sure.
That circle of hardcore players would be fed by Crystal's Battle Tower, and while an intense, exclusively battle-focused game wouldn't work for a mainline Pokemon game, it doesn't mean it couldn't work in general. I wonder if there's a game like that. Pokemon Stadium 2 is the sequel to Pokemon Stadium, which is a sequel to Pocket
What are we talking about? Wait, where are we going with this?
Monster Stadium, and therefore cannot be given credit for creating a battle-focused, hardcore gamers-only Pokemon experience. But this is a video about Generation 2, and Pokemon Stadium 2 is a second-generation Pokemon game.
Okay.
Some people in the comments of the Gen 1 video requested that I make a video on Stadium.
I have Pokemon Coliseum right here. It just came in the mail today. But I haven't played Pokemon Stadium.
I've never played it, and when the hell else am I going to get the opportunity to talk about it?
I don't know, make a video about it.
Stadium 2 functions as an old-school form of DLC. The space-restricted Game Boy games really couldn't have something like the Battle Frontier, but the N64, a much more powerful piece of less popular hardware, certainly had the capability to be exactly that. The major gimmick with the Stadium games is that the players could transfer their Pokemon from the Game Boy games Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, and Silver,
That's
or as the
cool.
box disgustingly puts it, Gold, Silver, Yellow, Blue, and Red. A sequence that feels like a crime against language itself. There's
That
a
is
ton of
bad.
stuff to do in Stadium 2. You have Mario Party minigames and trivia challenges. Did you know that Miltank gives delicious milk? But the stars of the show are the
No.
Gym Leader
No, I
Castle
didn't.
and Stadium mode, the two single-player modes that constitute something of a post-game for Gold and Silver. In these modes, you take Pokemon, either rented from the game's garbage dump of a prefab roster or transferred from one of the Game Boy games, and battle against short gauntlets of trainers. If played with rentals, Stadium 2 becomes about as difficult as late game Gen 2 by the time you reach Morty in the Gym Leader Castle. This quick escalation is because the rental Pokemon are statistically terrible. There are very few Pokemon that can outstat their opponents, a strategy that's common in the main games, and even powerful Pokemon that could outstat others, even with poor stat experience, the Tyrannotars and Dragonites and Golems of the world, are given bad movesets. Oh boy,
Yeah.
I love Dragon Rage Dragonite! When you construct your teams for these gauntlets, you have to take into account...
Pokemon games always have bad movesets, though, so that's just expected. Would you drink from a Miltank? Yeah.
Not only
Absolutely.
coverage, because few of the trainers are monotype, even in the Gym Leader Castle, but also moveset. You can have really terrible stats with okay moves, or slightly less offensive stats with horrendous movesets. There are some good ones. Voltorb with Rain Dance, Thunder, and Self-Destruct is crazy with its high speed, and Slowbro with Surf and Confusion is nice, but for the most part, you have to piece together scraps to piece together victories. This is compounded by the movesets of enemy Pokemon being insane. One of the biggest issues with early Pokemon is that enemy movesets are often limited. In Gen 1, Pokemon
True.
movesets were mostly limited to natural learn sets.
True.
This would expand a little bit in Gen 2, and in Stadium 2, the movesets are insane.
That
Pokemon
sounds like
have
fun.
nutty coverage, like, Whitney's Miltank. The delicious milk it nourishes us with is Earthquake, and Rollout as
Oh,
it
it knows
beats you in speed
Earthquake?
ties. And don't try to paralyze it, because the Paralyze Cure Berry will take care of that. And
Oh.
yeah, it's a great time. If you transfer over a
That's
trained team with real
strong.
movesets, the game becomes easier, and the movesets you have to deal with still make it a more challenging gauntlet than the base game.
Yeah, this looks like fun.
Obviously, I couldn't get very far with rentals. I'm ass at this game, but I'll take my wins. I beat Morty, which is 3 gyms further than I would have gotten a year ago. Stadium 2 with rentals is a different game from Stadium 2 with transfers. With rentals, it's a puzzle box with razor-thin margins and RNG, which is fun and cool.
That is
With
fun and
transfers,
cool.
it's the kind of post-game that's become mythical in the Pokemon series, even more so because transfers in 2024 require the technical wizardry of putting up with Nintendo 64 emulation or soldering in a new battery to that old copy of Silver. I wasn't able to transfer over my beloved Fish and Dirtbag to Stadium 2 because I'd rather stare into the sun than look at N64 emulation any longer. So for me, the most enjoyable
That's
mode,
fair.
other than the trivia quiz, is the Challenge Cup. In this mode, the game assigns the player 6 random Pokemon and places the player in an 8-round gauntlet.
But that's fun. That's just Pokemon Showdown randos.
That they have to win with their random team.
Yeah, that's
If
just
my
Pokemon
love for
Showdown
Pokemon
randos.
Coliseum and its dumpster roster wasn't enough of a giveaway, I adore games that make you problem solve with a restricted toolkit. The rentals in Gym Leader Castle are much the same, but the challenge is longer form. You have to scout out and understand the Pokemon used by the gym leaders and their movesets, and experiment with the nearly 251 Pokemon pool to find solutions on the razor's edge. Over the course of months and years of periodically playing Stadium 2, I would certainly come to love the Gym Leader Castle instead of merely enjoying it. Because my time with Stadium 2 has been limited, I never played it as a kid, and only now picked it up in preparation for this video about Pokemon Gold and Silver, games I did play as a kid. My heart falls to the Challenge Cup. The pick-up-and-play problem-solving gifted by the randomizer is a joy.
Yeah.
It's like a miniature randomizer run that can be
That sounds like
completed in
fun.
one sitting.
Yeah.
While it
that
doesn't
sounds
have the same
awesome.
appeal as those chaotic long-form hacks, it presents the kinds of challenges rare in vanilla Pokemon, like Protect Paris meta. With Gen 2 carts dead and the N64 fading away with an increasingly distant decade, fewer and fewer players will experience Stadium 2 in its totality. You really just had to be there. I wasn't. We didn't have a Nintendo 64 growing up. I was shitting my pants in Super Mario World when the N64 gave way to the GameCube. So, what I played was the fossilized remains that tells us the shape, the size, and the story of the animal, what it ate, and how it slept, but stripped of its texture and time. Even without transfers, and without the fuzzy composite video of that yellow RCA cable from so long ago, Stadium 2 is the record keeper of the old timers Pokemon. A battle tower to all the old jank, the pre-physical special split days, the pre-EV days, the days before power creep and Eviolite.
Sure.
But for those Paleolithic Pokemaniacs who walked without running shoes and ran from the fires of double battles, Stadium 2 was the playground for the Houndooms and Tyrannitars that had such little time to themselves in the Gold and Silver base games. Going back to Gen 2 has been an enlightening experience. I have, on record, on video, somewhere on some stream or video or another, called Gen 2 one of the worst Pokemon generations. This was partially groupthink. I had taken all the low-level trainers and all the Kanto-locked Pokemon as an indication that the game was bad. Same as many others. The way people always spoke of Gen 2 as if they were games ashamed of themselves, ashamed of the Pokemon, and ashamed of Kanto, and as rush jobs, was a discourse gospel that enveloped these games. Replaying them, and beating them properly for the first time, I found two personal truths. The first is that the difference between most Pokemon generations is on a razor's edge. Sorry to the old heads and sorry to the newbies, but the gaps in quality between Gens 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 are much more thin than some fans acknowledge. The only real wrinkle to that is Gens 8 and 9, whose technical issues, particularly Gen 9, are so profound that they are pulled below the waves of their addictingly good Pokemon loop. The second thing I learned is that all the jank and the stupid and the shame that Gen 2 is accused of is actually stuff that I love. Hiding away Pokemon late into the game and evolutions behind hard-to-get stones and day-dependent activities is the type of textbook foolishness that I adore. Longtime viewers will know that Demon Souls is my favorite From Software game, and I love Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, and Super Mario Bros. 2 is my favorite NES Mario game, so my love...
Wait, was that Super Mario Bros. 2?
Quest, and Super Mario...
That doesn't look like Super Mario Bros. 2.
Mario Bros. 2 is my favorite NES Mario game, so my love for every seemingly dumb thing that Gen 2 does to conceal itself checks out completely. Gen 2 may hate itself, or so it is said, but I love it. Frequently, the nostalgia that resonates the loudest is the stuff that was just there when we were born. Red and Blue were just there. Gold and Silver were not. There was no prehistory of my life that Gold and Silver were a part of, because by the time I was in Little League and wanted to play these games, I was old enough to consciously seek them out. For the next games in the series, Ruby and Sapphire, that wasn't the case. These were games that were always there, which, I suppose, means I'm sequel baiting, and I'm sorry, but also, I can't help myself. I'll see you soon in the water parks of Hoenn. And if I'm gonna sequel bait, consider subscribing for...
Okay, so the thesis here is that they're actually really not that bad because of the points he talked about. And the points he talked about were the supposed lack of Gen 2 Pokemon, which I feel like he explained thoroughly, that actually there is a lot of Gen 2 Pokemon available. And also the fact that the Gen 2 Pokemon that are available are difficult to obtain via day-night cycle, via Pokemon, the gambling system, the casinos, via the stones, and he enjoys the thrill and the drive to go catch those Pokemon and to go get those stones. And then he talked about Pokemon Stadium for like 20 minutes. And I don't really know why. But we learned that we should play Pokemon Stadium 2. Because that looked fun as shit. But that does nothing to inform me about Gold and Silver. I am convinced personally that the availability of Pokemon from Gen 2 was not as bad as people remember, and that's fair. I do think it is an atrocity. This is where you input your own opinion. I'm getting there. I have been convinced that Pokemon availability is not as bad as we remember, according to what he showed. The atrocities that Gen 2 commits is the fact that the first bunch of trainers and gym leaders only use Gen 1 Pokemon for some reason, which is a little dumb. You want to put your best foot forward. You want to put the cool new stuff in the beginning. So the first two gyms not having any new Pokemon is weird, and I think that's bad. Also, he did not talk about the split path problem, where if you go, you can start by either going east of Ecruteak or going west of Ecruteak because you have Surf. The problem with that is that the game does not dynamically adjust to the levels that you are at. So if you do one half of the Ecruteak split and then go back and do the other half of the Ecruteak split, which you have to do, one of those halves is going to be unbelievably easy and unbelievably boring because you have a huge amount of experience in level ups from doing the other half. And that is the problem, in my opinion, is that the gym leaders don't use enough Gen 2 Pokemon, and I understand the fact that the aces are Gen 2, but I think more of the gym leaders Pokemon should be Gen 2 besides just their ace. And the fact that whichever way you go in Ecruteak, the other half is going to be dog shit. Like if you go west of Ecruteak and you do all of that stuff, that's like 2 gyms and a bunch of trainers and an entire water route worth of experience. That then when you go west or east of Ecruteak and you do all of the stuff that involves the Team Rocket grunts and going to catch the red Gyarados and everything, that is piss poor easy because you have all the experience from over here. But if you go and do all of the Team Rocket grunts and go and catch the red Gyarados and all of that, that's a ton of experience in Pokemon level ups and all of that from fighting with Lance, and you get the red Gyarados, and then you go west of Ecruteak City and nothing is leveled up. So it's so much easier. The split paths is interesting, but the fact that they didn't have the capabilities to do like the dynamic leveling is unfortunate, because it just means that whatever half of Ecruteak you do first is going to be cool and interesting, and then whatever you do second is going to be piss poor easy because it doesn't scale with your level, and you just got a ton of levels from either doing Team Rocket Hideout in Gyarados or doing a bunch of gyms and a water route of worth of trainers. Like, that is the biggest problem of Gen 2. And he didn't even talk about that a little bit. But I do think he made a lot of good points around the leveling, or not the leveling, the availability of Pokemon and stuff. So there was that at least. All in all, good video. The editing was amazing. Kudos to the editor. I think the script that guy wrote was pretty good. Way better than scripts that I've written for stuff. And it's pretty cool. But overall, good video. I just don't think he hit the points that I would have hit and the reasons why I don't like Gen 2. But he did convince me to play Stadium 2 or Pokemon Stadium 2, and he did convince me that there is more Gen 2 Pokemon available in the Gen 2 games than we remember. But the Ecritique split is still bad, and he didn't talk about it. And the gym leaders and the Elite Four should have more Gen 2 Pokemon. But it is good, and he reminded me that at least the aces of quite a few of them are Gen 2 Pokemon. So, yeah. If we got rid of Kanto, would it fix the leveling problem? If the game was designed around not having Kanto and that the Elite Four was the final destination, I think, and if it was balanced around that, I think it would definitely help the difficulty curve, but that's still, because like the Elite Four is like in the 40s and like and 50s and stuff, which I'm pretty sure that like Hoenn is also. I don't know. I think the Elite Four is fine. I think the biggest atrocity that Gen 2 commits is the Ecritique split. But I do think that if the game was balanced linearly with the end point being Lance, I think then they could have done something a little bit better. But I personally never had an issue with the way that you obtained Pokemon in that game. And I was in the groupthink about the availability of Gen 2 Pokemon. And he has opened my eyes to the fact that there are more Gen 2 Pokemon available than we remember. It's just not as prevalent because trainers don't use them all the time. And I feel like trainers should use more Gen 2 Pokemon, especially the gym leaders. But you as a player do have a lot more availability to those Gen 2 Pokemon than I remember. So there's that. I'm saying from a hardware standpoint because you can only fit so much into a Game Boy Color cartridge. I guess maybe, I don't know. I feel like the space wasn't the issue. Also, hi Timborn, welcome to the stream. He had good jokes as well, yeah. He definitely had good jokes. I don't know. I feel like that's all my thoughts about that video. But I liked it. Good good suggestion by Fred. It was entertaining, so there's that. Yeah, it definitely was entertaining. I think it lost the plot. It definitely lost the plot at some points, but that's okay. All right, oh yeah, by the way, once again, as a reminder, go subscribe to Professor Booper or Bopper. I'll leave a like. I like this video. Go subscribe to this guy because we watched his video. What do the comments say? I'm curious. This comment mentioned. Oh yeah, he also had a bunch of Major League Baseball references, which I appreciate. His video would be perfect if not for the unwanted Totodile slander. The entire first argument is courtroom lawyer speech tier bullshit. I love it. Not even 5 minutes in, the man is quoting Plato in relationship to Gen 2. Nothing could have possibly been more unhinged and funny than going, are the absol's bird from, okay. Oh, okay. Everyone is upset that he has Totodile slander. Oh, this seems insightful. I think it's important for people to realize that when these games came out, nobody saw them as Gen 2. These were seen as Pokemon, but better. These were the sequels to RBY, and they had only come out a few years later. No one was sick of Gen 1 yet, and nobody was sick of Kanto yet. They were just happy to have more Pokemon games. There wasn't this huge distinction between 1 and Gen 2. This, I think, is something interesting and good to bring up as well. I think that a lot of people lose sight of the like the timing of it all. So I think this is actually like relevant. This is a good comment. Good comment. All right. We reacted to this. Thank you, Fred. Very cool. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to give Echo. I'm going to get some more water, and I'm going to give Echo his meds. Okay. Now that it's over, I want to tell you about the Cult of Land. It's a little like a roguelike with base building. From what I know, you like both those things. Yeah. Cult of the Lamb. Let's look. Oh, you've got. Wait, I think you've suggested this to me before. I recognize this game. What is in my wish list? Oh, Amanda the Adventurer 2. Alright. Alright, boys. I did? Oh, nice. But I actually bought it. Nice. Is it good? It's on sale for 50% off. Yeah, I saw. How long did that sale go on for? Offer ends August 19th. Call to the Lamb. Call to the Lamb and the one who waits. Like I missed your sexy brows. 19. What is that? I say my very expressive eyebrows. I'll get the 33 one. I'll get all of the. I agree. Let me buy it. For 35 bucks, it was just a bunch of games. Nice. Can you go to the thing, please? Thank you. The DLC is purely cosmetic? Oh, well, already purchased. Where did it go? Five Nights at Friends. Call to the Lamb. New DLC! Okay. Yesterday you played Call to the Lamb for the first time. Nice. It's the DLC. I already bought all of it. Alright, we'll play it a different day. Okay. If you find it's not for you, just refund it. That's fair. I don't want to refund it just because I want the game studios to have the money. I have so many games in my Steam library that I don't play that I could get a refund for, but it's fine. The studio gets it. It looks cool. I like the art style. I like that type of art style. Anyway, let's play Pokerogue. Well, it looks fun. But like money, you know? Oh yeah, no, totally. That makes sense. But we can stream it. Wait, are we in a run? Wait, there's no way that this run... Wait, is the only thing that's alive Conkeldurr? Wait, is really the only thing alive in this Conkeldurr? Oh no, wait, who is dead? Lanoon and Bronzong were dead. Ooh, who's this handsome fellow we're watching? I don't know who this fucker is. Okay, what happened after this? Are we just restarting? I guess we're just restarting. But no, like... Conkeldurr, Skeledirge, and Magnezone were all alive at the end of that, right? Oh no, I literally changed. Okay. I literally have it changed to attempt 45 now. So I guess we're doing a new game. That's fine though. New run, new run, new run. Here we go. Also, I want to let you know for Call of the Lamb, there is a permadeath mode. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. New run. Wishy-washy only. I will not be subjecting myself to that. Okay, Whismer sucks anyway. We don't want it. Whismer dog water anyway. It's good until it's not. That's fair. Let's take Gamba. Fuck it. I'll take the X special defense for now. Also, let's gamble. I forgot. Fuck it. Let's just get shinies. Like, Thimble. God, chill. God damn. We take Nugget here. We need to take gambles more? No, we don't need to take gambles. We need to win this Nuzlocke. Okay, let's take max lore for more. The gamble voucher, not risks. Oh, you know. Taking the gamble voucher could be considered a risk. In some circles. We absolutely take Great Falls for catching. Chespin, I think, is pretty easy to deal with later on. That bird, I think, is like one of the middle of the road birds. I think that's kind of fine. Let's take defense. Yeah. Rival looks pretty easy for the future. Happy about that. Take the special defense. Oh my god, on 1 health, let's go! He's incredible! On 1 health! Ooh, okay, Pikachu. Overdrive should not kill. Don't crit. Okay. Pikachu's been added to the party. I've been waiting for so long for an Age of Empires 2 sale. I don't know what would... I don't know what would bring them to do an Age of Empires 2 sale, if I'm being honest. But they need to do one. Take Big Nug here. We don't need Bite. Are any of these gonna be shiny? No. 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 Oof. I'll take special attack for sure. If you wish for it, it won't happen. That's true. I have a shiny of literally all of those. Can you share? I don't care about electric terrain. Not Pokerogue though? Oh, okay. This game is trash for real? On God? No. How is this game trash? I thoroughly enjoy this game. Good for you, Timborn. Timborn, you're banned. You're banned. Lumberry is good. I think we take Lumberry just for... Yeah, okay. He eats the Lumberry, so then we get rid of the paralysis here. Let's just double team to try to make sure we don't take any damage. Bro, supposedly Pokerogue because you can't handle the only SV run chicken right. What the fuck is that Pokemon? What fucking Pokemon is that? Tarountu. What the fuck is it? Oh, this thing? This little goober? That little goober's probably bad. Ooh, the Grippy Claw is kind of nice. We love the Grippy Claw. I'm actually a massive roguelike fan, Lamau. That's why I don't love Pokerogue. It's a really fun Pokemon experience, but not the best roguelike. That's fair. I mean, who wants to play Sword and Shield? Have you seen this game? True. Once I get the Elgato, if I decide to get the Elgato working, then we can do Switch streams. Sword and Shield is base if you're on a Giga Sweat. I have played through... I'm slowly making my way through Sword and Shield. I mean, not Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet. I believe I'm Scarlet. And it is very fun. It's enjoyable. Seeing as though I like to do challenge runs all the time on stream, I don't need this. Pikachu could get physical moves eventually, but we don't want Pikachu to have physical moves. I think we just take the Super Board. But just to like have fun and chill out, I have enjoyed... Oh, this is awkward. Oh, this is awkward. I have enjoyed Sword and Shield. I'm super sensitive to frame rate drops. And the performance is very bad. Performance big bad. Okay, we get an evolution here, that's good. We're fine here, we're faster. Yeah. Easy. Hear me out. I'll breed Dittos together for 12 eggs. You nuzlocke with new random egg after each gym/Titan. Bro almost lost to a monkey. Hey, it's fine. Oh, Zigzagoon, please. Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon. Listen, buddy. It doesn't have pickup. It does have gluttony. You called it. Electro Ball is better than Thunder Shock, right? Probably. Oof. I need a potion here. Let's full heal here. Let's take super repel. Let's just headbutt. Easy. What? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just give this to here. We took a lot of nuggets in the beginning. We have a lot of money. Give this to Crocalor. Wait, that's not what I want. Does Covet work on vitamins? Or Covert? Probably not. Wide lens, kinda pog. You can do a shiny, Sword and Shield shiny badge quest too for your intro into shiny hunting. What is a shiny badge? It was all out of 100%. Oh, wait, we can give wide lens to Pikachu to make that 100% accurate. That's shiny hunting X nuzlocke. It's shiny hunting X nuzlocke. Gotcha. Scarlet and Violet might be the only good game for that. Basically catch a shiny after each gym, and that's all you can use. Holy shit. That seems really intense, actually. Let's just take accuracy. I forgot about this. Hey, what's up, Elle? Welcome back to the stream. We can just pivot through Crocalor. Needleworm's fine. This is fine. What's up, Elle? Just slack off. Okay, that's good. Easy. Well, speaking of L's, we're not taking any L's. We're doing good. Shit. Whoa, that was a lot of damage. Okay. Shining Hunter 2, Rob. It's a great intro to new Shining Hunters with the worst odds. You'll probably get a shiny in under a day. Dude, that's so much time. I need 23 more Charmander candies that I can buy as passive. His Beast Boost? That sounds good. Beast Boost sounds kind of badass. Let's go ahead and get Pikachu up to speed here. A Varoom! Oh wow, that's actually good there. Oh well, I got freaked out. Then I will do Nuzlocke? Hell yeah, nice. Is your Charmander shiny? Oh, I need to use... Yeah, Blue Star? Hell yeah. Goated. We need to use the ether on all those. I'm gonna take the X speed. No, don't intimidate me, bitch. Nice. Ooh, amulet coins really pog, actually. Ooh, nice. Rusted sword on 51 poggers. Now, what is rusted sword? Does Blue Star's shiny Charizard look better than the normal shiny? I don't know if it. I'm a filthy casual. Charmander is one of my favorite starters. We want to learn Slash for Headbutt. Rusted Sword is how you get a hero. Hero form for Zycan? Gotcha. What the fuck? It's a Gimagoo! So, give me goo. Give me the goo. Give me goo. Good old fashioned. Give me goo. Low key, I have grown to not really like any starters. Tim Warrior banned again. Really? None of the starters? You really don't like any starters. None of them tickle your fancy even a little bit. Oh, chat, we have an option. This isn't the trash Burmy, right? I don't like legendaries either. He's the worst takes, but we still love you. His tail is a blue fire and the light blue, not like Mega X. Oh, is light blue. Gotcha. Do we take Stunky for poison dark coverage, or do we take the I think Burmy's bad. I think we just kill the Burmy. I don't like it. The Gen 4 starters are my favorite, but they're all kind of meh in my opinion. Not bad by any means, just not great. Gotcha. That's fair, I guess. We'll slack off, and then we'll just covert. That shouldn't do too much. No crits. Okay. Stunky, welcome to the team, little guy. Magnet definitely goes to the Pikachu. Whoa, that's one. Let's chill. Jesus, okay. Sounds like Timber doesn't like Pokemon. Legendaries and mythicals are the ones that really bore me. I can only see a big dinosaur dragon thing. Yeah, that's fair. I don't want Snarl. I like the goopy little dudes Pokemon. Oh, my favorite starters is Gen 3. I love them, and the Megas are so good. I think we all know my bias towards Gen 3. So that's, yeah. I like the goofy little dudes, not the badass ones. Yeah, that's fair. That's what Digimon's for. Let's heal. Hey, it's the steel type. I like the badassery ones and the goofy ones equally. Who wants to learn rest? Oh, you can forget. You can forget pin missile. Yeah, let's forget pin missile and learn rest. I do not care about the IV scanner. It ain't my berry. Asshole. Venoshock better than focus energy. All my homies hate focus energy. Seed bomb is good, right? Yeah. Who can learn seed bomb? Oh, Lanoon. Sure. I guess it's better than sand attack. Magma Grunt. So Team Magma is going to be the evil team for this run, which isn't the worst option. Some of my top mons are Dodo, Cubone, Psyduck, Fido, Lillipup, Meltan, Chroma, Girafarid, all little dudes. All very cute little dudes. I was someone who bought a book and seen every Pokemon, so I never got much of a chance to grow any opinions of which ones I like. I like most of them about the same except for a select few. That's fair. Oops. I kind of like all of them. Map! Oh, cool Lanoon! Look at the cool Lanoon! Don't tell me you put Garatina and Brookstrips on the same level. Map! 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 Map, 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 map. Oh boy. Pikachu wants to learn agility? Yeah, we don't need agility. Screech? What are your moves again? I like accuracy drops better than defense drops. We need to heal. We'll take Nugget here. Nice. Mr. Zilla Playa, hello and welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. It's a fish with teeth, Brooks. It ain't that bad. Fish with teeth. People are arguing about which Pokemon sucks and which Pokemon doesn't. We need great balls for catching in a minute. There's a fish with teeth. If that thing existed, oh hell no. Isn't that just piranhas though? I don't care about these, so I'll just take X accuracy. Wishy-Washy is based fish. Wishy-Washy is the most based of fish. I believe this is going to be a gym. Nope. I was wrong. Nothing like a good, healthy argument. That's fine. Is Cloyster Gen 1? Cloyster? I think Cloyster is Gen 1, yeah? Which is why I ate that motherfucker. Who's learning takedown? Oh, Lanoon doesn't need takedown. Why did we teach it Seed bomb. Oh, that's such a huge pickup. Oh my god. I am hogging right now. We need to not kill it. Please don't kill it. Thank God. Rock Slide, Flamethrower, Crush, go home. Holy moly. It has Spush plus special attack. That's awful. Stealing Ground is such a great combo. I agree. That's huge. Most edible fish is probably Roloscuda. Yeah, has scales though, right? All fish have scales, Midnight. You take the scales off. I really like Incinerate just because of its ability to burn berries. And we're gonna get Torch Song soon anyway. Toxic is really good. You wanna know, you want some weird mic lore? I know how to scale and gut a fish. The Drillbur. Oh, chill, Drillbur. God damn. It is work, but it's rewarding. Dude, being able to go ahead and get out there and catch your own fish and then gut scale it and then cook it up on the grill, let me tell you what, brother. Okay, well. Fuck, I wish Mike would scale and gut. No, yuck. Make a how to dissect a fish video? I don't know, man. These suck, but let's just see what we need. We literally don't need anything from there. Let's just take the free potion. Okay, we're good. I was about to cry. You can bring it faint. Would you actually, for real, want a video about fishing? I don't think anybody wants that. Yo, Skyline salmon! That's disgusting. Video would only cost one fish. One whole fish. Skyline salmon sounds unbelievably cursed. I need to stop spending money on healing items so liberally. I'm not fucking myself here. Don't explode. Thank you. Make it a short? Oh, that's fair. I don't... Is that good? Sure. Let's take it. Skyline Salmon would be a swag name for her clothing company. Soccer Punch is amazing. Yeah, it's so bad it's good. Skyline Cookie Stream next week, by the way, maybe. Skyline Cookie Stream next week. Just kind of throwing that out there. I go. Digging his ears. He was digging his ears. We had to Had to go fight him. What day? I don't know yet. Need to clear the schedule. I will definitely put it up a day or two in advance on the channel. You just gotta keep an eye out for it. Thunder isn't accurate enough for us to go for. Does Grip Claw... Does Grip Claw have to be physical? Good old DJ Skeleturge is in the goddamn house. We love him. We know him. Echo! Echo! You fucking dumbass dog. Also Chuck. Hello, Chuck. Uber. Hey. He's gonna rip a hole in his goddamn ear. Grippy claw. Alright. Chuck's fighting type. This shouldn't be too difficult. That's a little scary, but we do... Wait, is ground good against steel? Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, well... Oh my god. We can't risk the kill. We're gonna wipe the Chuck. Google said it works on special moves too, but it won't work if you one-shot. Well, Echo, you stink. Echo's fine. It wasn't his fault. I'm just playing bad. But if we can double team our way to victory here. Okay, GG. Echo would win? Yeah, Echo definitely would win. The fact that this fucking thing is dig is unbelievable. The fact that that fucker had dig is unreal. If that didn't have dig, we would have been fine. Let's just start another one, why not? Wishy-washy run? No, I want to try to actually get a challenge. Base. Yo, you got shiny Skitterbug? Base, yeah. It's only traditional starters for the Nuzlocke as well. Alright. right off the bat, we're gonna lose. This bird. Oh no, we're not. Never mind. We're good. Sure, I'll take the fairy feather. That means that alluring voice is stronger. I'll take the rare candy right now for Pidgey. It's a fast Spearow. I probably should take Pokeballs. I realize that we've used a lot of them. Double battles at the beginning are so bad, yeah. They're kind of difficult. You know what? Kind of tired of it always being the thing I didn't want. Oh, I totally forgot to switch up the Twitch thing. Hang on. Bum, 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 bum. Nuzlocke. Okay, there we go. Alright, anyway. Especially in the lake? Oh, especially in the lake. My brain feels like Vaseline. What does that even mean? Mari, hello and welcome back to the stream. I saw you were here earlier. Hello and welcome. Sprigatito is such an easy one later in the game. Fletchling is fine. Let's just take X defense for now. I have enough Pokeballs, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have 16. Sure, let's just teach it. Why not? Sprigatito is faster and is a grass dark. Oh, it is dark type. Wait, that's actually really bad. That's unfortunate. I mean, for later in the game. Yeah. Wait, dark type actually is terrible, huh? I didn't think about that. It's fine, but why? Okay. I didn't want that Bidoof anyway. Bidoof, remember chat, even if something sucks, it's better to have something rather than nothing. Having something that's decent is better than having something that's dog shit. And by dog shit, I mean nothing. Nothing is dog shit. I just realized that wasn't. Yeah, especially for the double battles. Yeah. Who am I forgetting? Bite? No. I feel like XP balance is better in the late game, so we'll take it. It helps us balance out our Or everything. Charcoal's great. I'll take charcoal every time. I don't want disarming voice. I'll take a Lepaberry, actually. Lepaberry is pretty good. It's kind of good that we got the flamethrower early. I kind of like that. I'll also take a Lumberry on for Coco. Thank you for showing me like 6 Bidoops in a row. I know I didn't catch it. Really cool. Oh, breeders. We're breeding, chat. Oops. Nice Lumberry use. That works. Stop! Stop! I keep hitting the wrong button. I meant to go down. I wanted to use a luring voice. My Doofenshmirtz. My Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Because we already have Flamethrower. I'm not going to teach it. It's fine. Glad to see the evolution. This could be a gym leader, so I'm going to heal. A little rare candy Pidgey here. Quick attack better than tackle in every way possible. Easy peasy. Doofenshmirtz Incorporated. We're going to the lake. I don't know if I like the lake. Oh! Fuck it. We ball. Fuck it, we ball. Okay. Doesn't matter, we didn't catch anything good. Who cares? God is dead. Don't crit. Okay, cool. You love the lake. GG. Cool. This is the last run of the night, probably. Ooh, Enigma Berry. No, actually, we just rare candy Skitty right away. Are you serious? There's no way it's gonna die. It's literally gonna die as soon as we catch it. What a fucking joke. Don't patronize me by giving me a fucking Sunkern too. And we got the... Oh. I have anger. So this is the last one of the night we didn't make much progress? No, not really. I knew that reacting to that video was going to take a while. I also spent some time. Everything is ready for Renegade Platinum as well, by the way. So I spent time getting stuff ready for Renegade Platinum. I'll take a couple of Pokeballs. Rowlet evolves into the ghost grass owl, right? That's like fine. Damn, I need to get my shit together then. Yeah. Take the nugget for now. Yeah. Decadewey. I love Decadewey. That's how you pronounce it, right? Yo, shiny! Shiny Pog! We did make progress tonight. We got a shiny. Let's go. Shiny Pog. Let's go. He looks cool. He looks like a little golden boy. I like him. Shiny Amaranth. Let's go. We love shiny Amaranths. It did crit. It really wanted to kill it. It crit. Definitely just take a lap right here. All of a sudden, our past failures somehow don't matter. We got a shiny. Our past mistakes don't matter anymore because we got the shiny. What the fuck is this? 75 surrounded. Spurred by the power double fail. Interesting. I don't really care about that. Don't. Okay. I feel like Lechonk is tanky enough that we won't just get melted. So especially with the defense TM. What's up, Ace Trainer? Think you're so damn good, huh? You think you're so damn good, huh? All of your stuff's weak to fire. Get out of here. You're bad. Caribou will help our speed situation. That's rude. We need to heal a little bit. I mean, let's just take free heals. What did you post in the Discord, Midnight? Oh my god, excuse me. Oh. That is a lot of shinies. Is that all of your shinies that you have? That's a good amount. Bug the Nuzlocke. Give me Pokerogue shiny all night. I think we could definitely do that. I surrounded by blue and red shinies. If you're just in a normal shiny, it'd be fill the entire screen. Oh, that's just the blue and red shinies, I see. Plus more. Damn. That's a lot of damn shinies. Well, let's just get another shiny real quick. How many kinds of shiny are there in this game? There's red, blue, and regular, right? We have Piss Power Max. I think Piss Power Max is going to be good for Overdrive. Nice. Take me back to my real Pokemon. It's safer there. Hopefully they add another tier. Only one kind of shiny. If shinies were good enough for us back there, then why can't we just have the normal shinies in this game too? You're again? That's dog shit. I mean, it's a grass type. Dog water. Timborn sounds like cranky calling. The difference is the level of luck stat that each gives you. Right now I have a luck level of C, as you can see in the top right corner. And the more shinies you have and the higher tier shinies you have, the better it is. They do also look cooler, which is a very important stat. The whole point of shinies is being meaningless? What? Yeah, no, in this game, the shinies actually help us. I like Lumberry here. Have we only fought Nuzleaf line? Or like C-Dot line? Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm not complaining, but you know. Razor Leaf better than Tackle. I assume they've buffed or have enhanced Nuzleaf in some way. Otherwise, he's pretty dog water. Oh. We're good. I'm gonna eat a kebab skewer, bro. Have fun. Nintendo, take me back home. I'm scared of these fan games. No one should sue Pokerogue. Clearly a different game. Clearly just inspired. Don't sue, just outdo. Honestly, if they would make a good Pokemon game that people would actually want to play, I think people would be ecstatic. Wait, Lechonk's moveset's insane. I mean, not insane, but like, it's pretty good so far. We'll take Ultra Balls. Shroomy! Our little Shroomy guy. Let's just take Lore. Lechonk! Pokemon Legends Arceus. A seems promising. Oh, A through Z, Legends A through Z seems promising with little we know about it. We'll see. I love every game after like Gen 5 other than Alola. Fuck Alola. I like every game from Gen 5 and down. That's not true. Gen 3, 4, 5 is great. I don't really like 6. I like the Alola. I did not think Sword and Shield was very good. And I like it, Scarlet and Violet. What does this do? Raises a random stat? Fuck it. Weeball. I don't know why people are hating on Alola. I think Alola was trying to do something different and interesting, but I don't think they executed it as well as they potentially could have. This should be pretty easy. We just click the fire type button. Easy. Nice. Oh, I hate all of Alola because I've got beef with Comfy. I like the DLC for Sword and Shield, but as a standalone game, just no. I actually really want to play Sun and Moon. But alas, Comfy. Wait, what's wrong with Comfy? Is Ninjask good? Don't kill. Let's just catch it. Okay. Ninja's gimmicky, but maybe good? I don't know. I have never had Sword and Shield DLC, and it's the only Pokemon game 100%ed the decks in over 3 different playthroughs. Damn. It's a really good game if you just chill the fuck out and actually try to like it. Sword and Shield? I did not like Sword and Shield. Yes. What are we saying yes to, Mista? Yes. This. I'll take Stab Payback. Stilbscar kind of cracked on the pig. To Ninjask? Oh, gotcha. I think Ninjask is really good. Take X accuracy here. Sword and Shield had me manipulating the weather to get a lot of encounters just to complete the decks. I think Pokemon fans just want to hate the games at this point. They'll deadass be like, yeah, this game is better than the last and a big step up, step in the right direction. But I didn't love the third gym back. I have come around to Scarlet and Violet. After they fixed all of the absolutely abhorrent problems that it had on release, I came around to it. Ninjas can learn Absorb? Forget Agility. I don't like the recoil moves, as we all know. I'll take more physical defense on Crocalor. I still feel like Pokemon is struggling with the steps into 3D. I really think that with the amount of money that that company makes, it is absurd how bad some of the recent games look. Ninjask gets the wide lens, by the way. Smash. I like Yawn more than Disarming Voice, I think. Scarlet and Violet, very potential. PLA, Awesome Adventure. What is PLA? Sword and Shield, probably the best mix of open world 3D and routes. Alola, regional mons are dope. In Hawaii, cool. People started hating everything after X and Y. I've never finished X and Y. I think there is fair criticisms of all of the games. I think that what the gaming sphere that surrounds Pokemon really does not hold Pokemon in a good light. For the level of money that they have and the level of influence that they have. Is it legendary? No, this is just a mythic, right? Oh my god, that's so much damage. Holy. I actually don't want flamethrower. Oh my god. Who just died? The pig just died. Oh my god. Okay, well the pig died. I want to get the silk scarf off of it first. Loudred is the encounter here. Transfer the silk scarf onto Loudred. Then we're gonna heal, and then take max lore. And then we're going to release. I think the 90s kids just grew up and things aren't as nostalgic now. I wasn't born in the 90s, so I don't know what to tell them. I just think if the games look better, people would stop complaining about them so much. It's just that games look so good now and Pokemon doesn't. Pokemon looks and runs like ass. And it's pretty inexcusable. For just the level of everything that they have. Roar. Let's just forget how. I think synthesis is better than growth. Let's just take the free potion. That was a lot of damage. Shiny? 2 shinies in one night? Nope. Oh, I don't have that yet, though. Yes, I do. Never mind. I thought I didn't have that. I think if you took someone brand new to Pokemon or gaming as a whole, they enjoy it 7+, way more than 1 through 6 overall. PLA, wait, what is what is that Legends of Arceus? Pokemon Legends Arceus? Oh no, Pokemon Legends Arceus was awesome. They should keep this on. Yeah, no, they should keep, they've literally proved that they can make a game good in this day and age. And then they said, we're gonna release Sword and Shield, or we're gonna release Scarlet and Violet. Pretty sure it's because they want to stay a teeny development team. It's not. It's Game Freak. I don't know. There's just like so much room for improvement that could happen, and they have the money to invest it. They just refuse to invest it or do anything. To be fair, Game Freak does have to work on so much. I agree, they should give them more time. let Game Freak have something in the oven for a goddamn second. Oh, my little guy! I need this little guy to win. Fuck. We could have caught the little guy, but we don't have the little guy. Fuck. DJ Skeletor's in the house, baby. Ooh, Quick Claw would be insane on Skeletor because he's slow as fuck. I'm still taking damage from Salt Cure? What the fuck is that? I'd gladly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would also gladly wait another year for a better game. But they just refuse to give them any semblance of time to do anything. There we go, it's Shadow Ball. Hippopotamus! Look at this little hippopotamus little guy. I'll just take the free potion. Let's just switch here. Next mainline game, next Legends games, events, DLCs for Scarlet and Violet, marketing, Pokemon Go, all the shitty remakes of the N64 games, merch, licensing deals, following Nintendo's restrictions, so much shit. The gamers would gladly wait, the investors will not. Sure, but why can't they see, like, hey, clearly people would like something better, and people have said that they'll wait. I don't know. We're in the rat race now. We're in the fucking turn wheel, so it's never not gonna be like this anymore, which is unfortunate. Oh wait, I don't want Sunny Day. Business people are prigs. They don't care what people want. Yeah. Please be good. I am not excited. Shadow Ball shouldn't kill. Yeah. Oh, chill, buddy. I said chill, buddy. God damn. Oh my god, the Sand Tomb, really? We're faster, 100%. Okay. Jesus Christ, okay. God. Alas, but he did not chill. He did not, in fact, chill. Jesus Christ. Why didn't you send in the flying type out? Would it have a flying type? Oh, fuck, I do. Huh. That would have been smart, huh? That would have probably done well. Nice. Take the rare candy here. Fine. We should just be able to one hit through everything. I'll take special defense. Ooh, quick claw. Donphin's unironically top 10 of my favorite Pokemon. Alright, gamer, it's sweepy time for my poor soul post road trip. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out, Timborn. Have a good rest of your evening. Sleep well. What does this one do? Raises speed? Eh. Why did I do it on that one? I should have done it on the other one. Oh boy. We can start setting up. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay hydrated, stay hot, and most of all, stay hysterical. I will try, bestie. I will try. Slash better than Swift for sure. Yo, chill. A bit of damage there. I'm sorry, what? What? I'm dying on the toilet right now. My stomach is hurting so bad and I'm praying. Praying spelled like the bird of prey, not like religious prey. It isn't because I ate those expired churro flavored Kit Kats. God fucking speed, soldier. Godspeed, midnight. Oh no. Extra sensory. Better than Razor Leaf. Holy, we can Mega Bracelet? Who the fucking Mega? I don't know and I don't care. We're Megaing. Nice. What the fuck does Mind Reader do? The user senses the target's movements with its body to ensure the next attack does not miss. Interesting. Not interested though. Dig good. This lowers the speed stat of those hit. Interesting. We don't need Fury Swipe, so we have Slash. XP all kind of... XP all would have been kind of huge. But alas, I am an idiot. In my defense, the churro flavored kits smacked. I mean, I assume they would, but they're expired and they're gonna make your fucking butthole explode. So I don't know if it works, brother. That's not what I wanted. I need this. Oh, nice torch. Nice quick claw. Woof. Feel a lot better now, but holy shit, man. You know what? Proud of you. Glad you made it through it, bestie. Uproar? No. Whoa! That's not great. Alrighty, well, Ninjaska's dead. Well, shit. Oh, and it's this guy. Oh no, we just need to win. Okay, we're +2. There should be a piece of cake from here at +2. +3. We just need to one-shot this Excadrill. We just have to one-shot the Excadrill. That's game. If only we had a flying type. Well, good game, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, make sure to follow. If you're watching this on Twitch, I will see you guys tomorrow with something else. Maybe more Pokerogue. I don't know yet. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for watching. Be safe, be kind to other people around you, and sleep well. Goodbye.